Okay, excellent.
Done. Okay. Please do the opening.
Okay, sure. Okay, so a very good evening, okay, to everyone. I am extremely heartened, okay, for tonight's session, okay, because it's that I can see so many familiar faces, and yet also at the same time to see so many new faces, you know, for tonight's session. I still remember like how this YMG community, right, was started around 1 year ago. You know, so I still remember at that point in time we were having some difficulties lah, you know, as a start, you know, to look for members to join our community. But yet for tonight, we have quite a good sign up. I believe that probably most of them, they are still stuck, probably traveling back home. Yeah, but I believe they'll be coming, joining us for tonight's session. Yeah, so for tonight, right, maybe for all the new members, let me share a little bit about what YMG is and how does it comes about. Okay, so YMG is called the Young Entrepreneurship Meetup Group, okay, where we believe that through networking and relationships, magic can happen. Okay, so this community, right, was created because a year ago, okay, because during my initial years of my business, right, I was faced with a lot of obstacles, you know, that nobody wishes to talk to me about what I do, and nobody believes in the work that I do. Okay, but it's also through this experience, right, then I understand that, hey, the importance of having a platform to support various startups and also entrepreneurs, you know, so that we can give them a platform for them to mingle with each other, an opportunity for them to share ideas with other community members. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is what YMG is all about. Okay, so guys, everyone, as you are looking at the screen, right, you'll see a QR code. So what happens is that one is a QR code to our Facebook group. Okay, so at this point in time, if you would like to, I strongly encourage you to scan the QR code right now, you know, so that you'll be brought over, okay, to our Facebook group, yeah, while we are having the opening session. Okay. So right now, does everybody know what are you guys in for? What are you guys attending the session for tonight? Okay, I see some nodding heads lah. Okay, but I saw some shaking also. I'm kind of worried. Okay, so for tonight's session, it's exciting. Okay, for me to let everyone know that we have the tonight's session as one of its kind. Okay, because for tonight's session, we'll be talking about discovering the secrets to effective networking. So why do we want to discover the secrets to effective networking? Everyone knows that networking is essential to our business, but everyone thinks and behaves differently. Do you find yourself anxious during networking session? Do you find yourself clueless on how to leave a powerful impression on others during networking? So for tonight's evening session, we have our specially invited guest speaker, Zenas Lee, okay, who is a development consultant with Brydan Group, who will be sharing with us the art and science of human mind and how to network. So before I pass the session over to Zenas, let me introduce a little bit about Zenas. Okay, so Zenas is a development consultant with Brydan Group. He strives to serve his role filled with passion and purpose. He is a certified expert in behavioral analysis, and he has more than 7 years of experience in the development and learning area, in the area of learning and development. Even after training and got to train and profiled more than 7,000 individuals across the areas of DISC, leadership, facilitation, and various aspects of life skills development, he strives to empower individuals to discover their passion, their purpose through the different activities and experiences, all while creating an environment of learning and growth. He believes that if while we are living, we must as well live with passion and purpose. Now, his mission is to impact the life of the individuals he has come into contact through empowering, equipping, and enabling them with valuable skills, imparting them with great knowledge and wisdom to realize their true, unique, and personal potential. So without further ado, for tonight's session, it's a pleasure for us to have Zenas to share with us on what is the secrets to effective networking. All right, Zenas, over to you, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Sean, for the amazing introduction. Yeah, I just wanted to express my heartfelt gratitude, for this opportunity to really come and share. And I really hope that this session would be something of value to each one of us. So before we jump straight into the whole crux of the matter, which is talking about networking, right? And how can we maximize, or how can we become more effective in networking? I first like to share more about myself. So I think Sean did pretty much a very comprehensive sharing of who am I. But basically just maybe okay, he shared what I do, but he didn't share why I do it. Yeah, my personal or one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because long story short, I was a kid. Yeah, everybody is a kid, right? Correct. I was a kid who was really sucked into the system, of the academic system and stuff like that. And honestly, I felt very stuck. I felt very lost. And it was only when in the later stage of life that I started to realize that, hey, you know what? I wasted my youth. I wasted so much time, so much experience, so much of those valuable opportunities for experience and growth. And that's why I wanted to really come on board to really help people to optimize themselves, help people to gain more clarity of why they're doing what they're doing, how can they become more effective at what they're doing. So in short, I'm currently representing two organizations right now. So Brydan Group, we have two organizations under Brydan Group. We have Brydan as well as Youth Inspired Consulting. So Brydan, it deals mainly with corporate training certification programs, which I'll share a little bit more later with you guys. And the second wing or rather the other wing that we have is with the youth. So the next generation is something that I feel very, very passionate about, because the next generation, they are essentially the next set of leaders, the next set of parents, the next set of inventors and stuff like that. And therefore, that is really my passion, because as mentioned, I wasted a lot of time in my youth. And I think a little bit more, I just want to share a little bit more about Brydan as well. So Brydan, basically what we do is that we believe in using evidence-based approaches to really unpack behavioral sciences and help people to optimize themselves and organizations alike. Okay, so just very quickly, a little bit more about Brydan as well. We are one of the top 10 certified masters in the Leadership Challenge. So the Leadership Challenge is one of our well-known leadership models that we are doing. So if I'm not wrong, we are one of the 2 certified masters in Singapore. So if you want to have any leadership discussions or conversations, feel free to connect with me. The next thing is this: we are also one of the certifiers or master certifiers for Align DISC, and we have been quite regional, 8 countries, and we've profiled and trained over 200,000 people in the time that we've been around. So who are we? We are basically an organization that seeks to empower people by providing valuable insights. Sure. Okay. What do we do? We, as mentioned just now, we use evidence-based, or we use data to try and optimize and try and help the organization or the individual meet their developmental needs. So we know that every single person, every single organization is different. The tools that are out there can be used in many different ways, correct? So one of the main things that we're doing is that we're using data to help us to optimize the whole process for individuals and for organizations. Last but not least, and how we do things is that we believe in a partnership more than, I know more than coming on and saying that I know more than you and let me teach you and stuff like that. Correct? So basically, at the end of the day, what we strive to do is we strive to form a relationship with our clients, of the people that we deal with, so that through the whole process they can optimize themselves better, they can understand themselves better. Okay, so these are some of the clients that we have worked with over the years. quite some quite familiar names that you see over here. These are some of the okay, basically people say nice things about us lah. Okay. Yeah. So let's jump straight into the session. Okay. So today's session is going to be about discovering the secrets to effective networking. Correct. And throughout this whole session, right? Correct. I really want to be having a conversation with us more than me, more than you just coming here for a talk show. Correct. So if I can have everyone just turn on your cameras. I just want to do a very short activity with us so that I can understand how I can position the entire session today. Would that be okay? Okay, great. I see people's cameras starting to come on already. Okay, good. So just help me out with this, play along for a short while. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10. So throughout the whole session, we'll be having conversations, we'll be having dialogues. And I want to know how honest, direct, and transparent do you want me to be with you and you be with me. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what level are you comfortable at during this session? Okay, so on the count of 3, this is what I'm going to do. If you're able to turn on your cameras, I strongly encourage you to turn on cameras. So if you have your cameras on, show me the number of fingers, 1 to 10. Okay, show me the number of fingers that or the level that you want me to be honest with you. Okay, for those of you who are not able to turn on your cameras, no worries, type it into the chat group and I'll be looking at it as well. Okay, Ken? So on the count of 3, just show me the level on which you are comfortable with throughout this whole session. Okay, so ready? 1, 2, 3. Show me the fingers. Hands up. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Thank you very much. Hands down. Hands down. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm seeing an average of about 7.5. I'm seeing an average of about 7.5. So throughout the whole session, I'll basically use this as a baseline. 7.5 would be a baseline. If we were to go into more, deeper conversation, into more direct conversation, I will definitely let you know first. Okay, but don't worry. Just let you know, some people, a bit more shy one. Don't worry. Okay, if I call you and I ask you for something, correct? If you feel that, wow, Zenas, you know what? I really very shy when I say, just let me know. It's fine. Okay, we're all here to learn. We're all here to grow together. Okay. The next thing is this. I would like all of you to do this. If you can, scan the QR code on your screen using your phone. Okay, if you're using your computers to attend this Zoom session, correct? And this is what I'm going to do. Okay, scan the QR code. The QR code will basically bring you to a website called menti.com. Okay, or if you are on your computers, you can open up another tab or another browser and just go onto this website called menti.com. Okay, so a couple of things here. Basically, I'll be using this platform to really interact with you, to hear you out, because there's so many of you, I can't possibly hear each one of you all the time. So this helps me to make your voice be heard lah. Okay. So throughout this whole session also, we'll be using Menti. So don't close the browser, leave that browser on. Okay, Ken? So the first thing I want to find out is this. I want to understand who you are, what you do in general. Okay. So if you head over to menti.com, correct, you would be seeing the Menti over there, and then it's requesting you for a password or for a code, correct? The code that I want you to enter in is 74615.
It's on the comments.
Okay, great.
Just check menti.com and then 74615.
That's correct. Thank you so much, Eugene. Okay, so the code is here again at the top of your screen, 74615. Okay, yes, and for those of you who are wondering, hey, Zenas, why are you looking to one side? Because I have 2 screens lah. Okay, so one screen I'm seeing exactly what you see. The other screen I'm seeing your faces. So it really helps if you can turn on your camera so that I know that you are listening, and I know that you're following along so far lah. Okay, cool. So most of us, 50%, interesting, 50% of us are professionals and executives. Just checking, the people in the other category, anyone from the others or in this category of others? Anyone listed this down? Shalina, is it? Okay, Shalina. Okay, Shauna, is it? Shauna as well? Okay, so maybe Shauna, you can just very quickly share with us what industry are you in and what you're doing.
Actually, I'm an accountant by training. It's just that at the moment I'm not working.
Okay, I see. So you're an accountant, formally trained as an accountant.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. So more than just understanding what you do, correct? I really want to find out from you, what do you want to gain out of this session? So in this whole session, really, this level 7.5 works both ways. Correct? You can be honest and transparent with me, and I will be honest and transparent with you as well. So I really just want to find out from you, yeah, what are some things you hope to gain out of this session? And okay, maybe the person who put learn, maybe learn what, correct? A bit more specificity would be good, so that basically this serves as like a checklist for me as well, lah. Okay. So we have 20 people here in this call. So let's try and get to at least 12 responses. So if you look at the bottom right corner, I can sort of see how many people are responding. So feel free to put it in. It's anonymous. I cannot track who you are. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, so maybe the person who put the learn, maybe you want to expand a bit more. What is that specific thing you're hoping to learn throughout this session? Okay, how to network effectively in a less anxious manner. Sure. An approach for effective networking tonnage for your clients, with your clients. Okay, interesting. So I'm assuming the person who asked this is a sales or business conversation, correct? Finding the profile of people, okay, understanding the people's profile better in a networking session. Learn more about it. I see, heard about it. Hope to use it during networking. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's get about at least 3 more. Let's get 3 more. Okay.
One more.
1 more, 2 more. Okay,
Come on, guys. Let's. The more you interact, the more you learn. Come on.
Yes, spot on, Eugene. Okay, no worries, no worries. We will have more opportunity to use this throughout the session. And yeah, okay. So if I can draw your attention back to the main deck again, really stand out from all of us. What is our understanding? Why do you think people actually yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So really, I just want to hear from you as well. Why do you think people struggle with networking? Why do you think people struggle with networking? So same thing again. Head on to menti.com. So don't close that browser. Leave it open. And what I'd like you to do is I would like you to just input what are some of your opinions, or even with your own personal experience with networking, right? What are some struggles, or why do you think you struggle with networking? Don't know how to network. Okay, very very obvious, but it's a very, very big thing. Okay, how to network. How to engage in small talk, new conversations with a new friend. Okay, shy, don't know how to open the topic. Scared, we ask intruding questions. Interesting. Okay, so scared you push too far, is it? Okay. Not able to be at ease with people, familiar people in the group. Okay, so as you're thinking about what to type in, or why do you struggle with networking, right? I think this is a very important question for us to ask ourselves, because number one of the main things that we always talk about in helping people and coaching people is always about awareness first. Correct? We need to be aware of, why are we even struggling, correct? Or what is causing those struggles, so that we can really find out, how can we correct those things, or how can we optimize certain things in our lives, correct? So I hear you. Thank you very much for your responses. Oh, this is very interesting. Shy due to Asian culture and upbringing. Quite true, quite true. Introverted by nature, afraid, not sure why. Insufficient experience getting out of the comfort zone. Okay, interesting. I don't know how to leave a powerful impression on others. Okay, so thank you very much for your responses. I think these are very, very real struggles that we have, correct? And I think before I really dive deep into DISC, I really just wanted to start off this whole conversation with us understanding this. I think let's be we can be very real with our struggles because everyone, I mean, look at it, correct? A lot of it is very, very similar. Either it comes back to, I'm not sure how to network, correct? Or it's a feeling of discomfort. Hey, I am not comfortable with the environment, or I'm anxious and stuff like that, correct? So know that you're not alone. Know that everyone in this group is also learning. So feel free to chime in. Feel free to share your thoughts and opinions, because that's when you learn the most. Or ask questions as well. Okay, Ken. So let's do a very, very quick activity. Can all of you just very, very quickly go and grab a piece of paper? Okay, grab a piece of paper and a pen. Grab a piece of paper and a pen, a blank piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to give us about 10 seconds to do that. Okay, so once you have, I can see you on your screens. If you have that piece of paper, maybe you can wave it at me and then like show me the quality of the paper. All right, okay, great. Okay, another 5 seconds and then we'll move on. Okay, for those who are not able to turn on your cameras, don't worry. There is also, if you look at the bottom of your screen, of your Zoom screen, you will see a function that says, if I'm not wrong, is reaction, correct? You see a reaction button. You can either give me a wave or give me a thumbs up to let me know that, you know what, I've got the things that I needed to get ready. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll be moving on. So we're going to be starting this session with a very, very interesting thing. It's called a mouse personality test. Okay. Basically, what I want you to do right now is draw a mouse. But wait, okay, don't draw a mouse first. Don't draw a mouse. So by the way you draw your mouse, I can tell what kind of person you are. Don't believe me, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, so certain conditions, you need to draw a mouse. Conditions are these. Number one, you cannot draw a computer mouse. Okay, you can draw any kind of mouse, cannot draw a computer mouse. That's condition number one. Condition number two, okay, you cannot write or spell the word mouse out. Okay, you cannot spell mouse, you cannot spell lausu, you cannot spell yelian, you cannot spell tikus. Okay, all those cannot. So you need to draw a mouse and you have 1 minute to draw your mouse on that piece of paper. Okay, ready? Your 1 minute to draw that mouse will start now. So remember, by the way you draw your mouse, I can tell what kind of person you are. But don't worry. Some people say, hey, my art not good, I fail my art. It's okay. I'm not judging you based on art. Or how nice the mouse is, okay? Okay, 30 seconds left. Ten seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up. Stop drawing. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you, okay, if you're able to, just take up your mouse, the drawing of your mouse, and show it to the screen. Let's see. Okay, very interesting mice.
Zenas, I have a suggestion. Is it okay that we exit share screen for everyone to take a look at each other's mouse?
Sure. Let's see.
Wow, suddenly I feel that we have so many artists here tonight.
Some people's mouse is really mouse. Some people's mouse look like not like mouse like that.
Wow, firstly, your mouse can be designed for red packet, you know.
Wow.
Professional.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for this. Okay, you can put your pictures down. So, okay, basically, same thing again. By the way you draw your mouse, I can tell what kind of person you are. Okay, so let me explain. So if you drew your mouse in this manner or with these features, okay, I can tell certain things. So number one, okay, if you drew your mouse on the top of the paper, meaning if you take that piece of paper and you fold it in half, correct, and the mouse does not touch the middle point of the paper, anything above the midpoint, that's considered the top of the paper, you are a person who is positive and optimistic. Okay, next, if you draw your mouse in the middle of the paper, okay, so fold the paper in half again. If the mouse touches any part of the middle of the paper, considered the middle, okay, then you are a person who is very serious and very practical. Okay, very functional kind of person. Last but not least, if you drew your mouse at the bottom of the paper, you are somewhat negative and pessimistic at times. Okay, meaning that you tend to look at the situation with oh, this glass is half empty rather than half full, kind of an outlook. Okay. Next, some more details, some more interesting things. If your mouse is facing forward, okay, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at your mouse, stare at your mouse. Okay, if your mouse stares back at you, that means that your mouse is facing forward. Okay, Ken? So if your mouse is facing forward, that means that you are a person who is bold, courageous, not afraid of facing problems in life. Correct? Very head-on, very headstrong. Okay? Next, if you drew your mouse facing to the left of the paper, okay? Everybody knows where your left is, right? Correct? Okay, great. So just checking. So if your mouse is facing to the left, correct? You are a person who is friendly, approachable, important this one, good at remembering birthdays. Good at remembering birthdays, okay? So it means if you draw your mouse on the right, that means that you are a person who is, you can be quite creative. However, you're not so good at remembering birthdays. I see some people smiling and like, oh yeah, that's kind of like me. Okay, interesting. Hey, there's more, okay? So, if you draw your mouse with many details, meaning if your mouse, there's whiskers, the paws have claws, there's fur and all that kind of thing. If you draw your mouse with many details, correct? Then you are a person who's very careful, not very trusting in the area of making new friends. Okay, or making connections or having connections, not very trusting. And if you draw your mouse with very few details, okay, this is what it means. It means that you are a person who is emotional, immature. However, you are daring to take risks and try new things. Not afraid of, venturing out and being adventurous. Okay? Next. Okay, if you draw your mouse with 4 legs, okay, if you draw your mouse with 4 legs, that means that you are a person who is quite stubborn, but you are stable, you know what you want, you know that, what I want is this, and that foundation is strong. You're not so easily swayed in that sense. Okay, if you draw your mouse with anything less than 4 legs, meaning 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, I see some people just drew the head only. Okay, but no worries. Okay, so if you draw your mouse with anything less than 4 legs, so 3 or below, you are a person who is going through some changes in your life, a little bit shaky. Okay. Next. Okay, this one interesting. Okay, if you drew your mouse with big ears, okay, the bigger the ears are that you drew, correct, the better of a listener that you are. Or people tell you, hey, you know what? You make a good listener, or people come to you to share what's on their heart quite often. Okay. Okay, last but not least, this one is interesting. Okay, so this is what I want us to do. If you can, correct, share, show us your picture of your mouse again. Show us a picture of your mouse. And I want us to do this. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a short while. Show the picture, okay? Whose mouse has the longest tail? Whose mouse has the longest tail in relation to the body? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh, Sean so small. I thought some people no tail, so it's okay.
I thought I need to draw more animals,
Draw more. Okay, interesting. Okay, looks like Fuzzly. Okay, Fuzzly the tail the longest one. Okay, so okay, okay, Fuzzly. Okay, first of all, everyone, okay, I want you to say hi to Fuzzly. We're gonna wave at Fuzzly and say hi. Fuzzly, say hi back.
Good job, Asli.
Okay, Fuzzly. Okay,
Don't
so
be too happy, it could be a negative thing.
Hey. Okay, so basically, okay, the longer you draw the tail, you think that you are.
Okay, he is.
He is. Wow, Fuzzly got compliments some more. Wow, okay.
Yeah, Fuzzly, you really are. Don't worry.
Okay, so okay, quick question. Okay, so very quickly, this is what we call the mouse personality test. And just a quick show of hands. How many of you found that, hey, you know what, this thing was surprisingly accurate? It was about 75% accurate for you. How many of you think so? Oh,
Can
Eugene,
I ask
okay.
one question?
Oh, yes.
What if you copied the mouse?
What if you copied the mouse? You copied the mouse, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have a category for your... No, just kidding. Okay, no worries.
Yes, it's okay. I mean, this is more fun also. Yes.
Okay,
you forget how a mouse looks like.
It's on the screen. Okay, but yeah, I've seen some people draw Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. That's fine also. Yeah, so okay, quite interesting. Most of you felt that it was 75% accurate. How many of you was lesser? Maybe about 50% accurate. Anyone? Even those with your cameras off, you can put a reaction, say hi and stuff like that. So Cindy, is it Cindy about 50%? Okay, no worries, interesting. Okay, so I got a confession to make. Actually, all of this is false. Huh? False? But Zenas accurate what? This kind of thing, correct? How come false? Okay, let me share with you a little bit more about the whole thing about personality and what DIC actually is. So quite interesting. Nowadays, right, correct, we all have access to social media, correct? You know, nowadays, especially circuit breaker, or I know people sending a lot of this kind of thing. You know, wow, hey, try your free personality test here, get your results in like 2 seconds, that kind of a thing. I want us to number one, know that, you know what, personality is not so simple. You know, it's not something that we can sit down for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, do a quiz, do a 10 question quiz and really come up with what our personality is. But something I want to bring out through this activity is this, okay? Number one, you realize that all of the attributes that were listed were actually linked to the physical attributes of the mouse, correct? For example, a lot of detail, you know, facing forward, facing left, many legs, you know, not enough legs, you know, no legs at all and stuff like that, correct? All those are linking to physical attributes. And something that I wanted to let us know is this. You know what? At all points in time, correct, like it or not, we are being watched. Even though we think that nobody's watching, we are being watched, correct? Have you ever, I don't know if you've ever seen this, or like, you know, you're queuing up for food at the hawker center, correct? And then someone is picking their nose, and then you look at them, and then they don't know that anybody's looking at them. Then suddenly they glance across and they see you looking at them, and then they have that very the kind of reaction like, oh crap, someone saw me doing that kind of thing, you know. Yeah, so number one, I want us to know that, you know what, people are always watching us, people are always observing us. That's the first layer. The second layer is this. Whenever people observe us, whenever people see us, they are making assumptions, judgments about us. Okay? So if you realize back to the whole thing again, you realize that, wow, if you drew your mouse with big ears, means they're a good listener. You know, the tail one, okay, relax, this one just for fun, relax, okay, really just for fun. But yeah, the whole point of this activity is this. I wanted to use this as an introduction to this thing called the iceberg theory. Okay? So in the iceberg theory, imagine this. All of us human beings, we are like icebergs. Okay? We are like icebergs. Basically, the top 10%, correct, is our action or our behavior, okay, which is above the surface of the water. The other 90%, correct, is what falls beneath the surface of the water, and what constitutes to that is our character, our values, and our beliefs that we have. Okay? So, in a nutshell, okay, personality talks about the whole iceberg. Personality talks about the whole iceberg. DISC focuses on the top 10%. What is above the surface? It is looking at behavior. Okay, so same thing again. If I can emphasize, personality is really huge. Correct. If you ever hear of someone say, "Hey, come take my personality test, right? 100% accurate one, faster run away." It's a lie. Okay, I can tell you for a fact, right? Even DISC, correct, is not 100% accurate. Okay, and if I give you some scale, what we'll be touching about, or what we're going to be talking about tonight, right, is really just less than 10% of this whole thing. It's 1% of the 10%. Okay, it's really, really small. Okay, and I wanted to share with us this is because I think a lot of us, we confuse the word personality with this kind of tools. Okay, so I want us to also know that, you know, DISC is a behavioral tool. Okay, so I'm just going to run through very quickly. The whole point is this. You can take a picture of this. Is basically, this is what we call Johari window. Johari window basically talks about, hey, we have different areas of our lives, and I want to zoom into this part called the blind spot. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Let me turn on my laser pointer. Okay, great. So all of us have a blind spot, and what we want to do in DISC is we want to expand that blind spot into areas that are known, so that we can optimize and we can help the person strategize better. Okay, so just now, mouse personality test was fake. Okay, don't worry. Okay, I won't just do something fake and then leave you there. Okay, I give you a little bit. So basically, I want us to do this activity. Okay, you can use the same piece of paper. Relax. This one don't need to draw top, bottom, left, right. It's okay. Don't worry. Okay, this is what I want us to do. I'm going to flash up a whole set of words. Okay, and I want you to choose 5 words that describe you the most. Okay, choose 5 words that describe you the most. Okay, important thing is this. I want us to bear in mind or look at the words, correct, with the context of networking in mind. Networking. So when for example, okay, I'm going to flash you the words now. So for example, during networking, am I a confident person, or am I more cheerful? Am I more calm? Am I more analytical? So when you're asking yourself about the 5 words, correct, think about a networking setting or a networking context. Okay, Ken, any questions so far? No questions? Okay, you have 5 minutes, okay, identify 5 words, don't think too much about it, and then just write it down in your paper, okay? 5 minutes. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, so next, okay, what's going to happen is this. Out of those 5 words, what's going to happen is this. I want you to look through this same list. Okay, I'm going to flash a separate side of a separate slide, and in this slide, right, correct, the words will be color coded. Okay, so just for standardization, okay, this is red. Okay, I know the thing doesn't look exactly red. Okay, but for standardization, let's just call it red, okay? This one, I know it looks orange, let's just call it yellow, okay? So red, yellow. This one, I know it looks yellow, but it's green, okay? So let's put it down as green. And last but not least, this is blue, okay? Red, yellow, green, blue. For each of the words that you've written down, I want you to list down the color that corresponds to that word, okay? And then after that, look at your 5 words. You should be able to identify there is one dominant color or one color that appears the most often. I want you to write down that color on top of the 5 words and circle it. Okay? So I'm going to give us about 1 minute to do that. All right. Okay. So, okay, all of us should have now our main color that is identified. Okay. So what I want you to do is this. Okay. We're going to be using Menti again. Correct. I just want to collect this data so I understand the demographics again. So head on to menti.com and I want you to key in what is your main DISC style. Okay. So just for standardization, okay, in the Menti you won't see colors, but you will see D style, I style, S style, C style, so on and so forth. Okay, so if your main color is red, you are a D style person. If your main color is yellow, I style. If your main color green, S style. If your main color is blue, C style. Okay, so red, yellow, green, blue, D, I, S, and C. Okay. Anyone with like a draw, like a 2-2-1 combination? Anyone with that? Cindy, is it? Okay, so Cindy and Yip. Okay, so this one you do look at this list again. With those two, so for example, if the two colors that are drawn, right, correct? Look at this. Look at the two colors and ask yourself which color. Look at the whole set of the words that are in that color and ask yourself in a networking setting, am I more like a red color or am I more like a yellow color or a green or a blue? So in the end, we want to try and identify one main style. Okay. Okay. So as you're doing that, what's going to happen is that for the rest, you can head on over to menti.com. Okay. Menti.com, and what I'll do is that I will make that available for us so that we can key it in. Want to see? There we go. Okay. So D, I, S, and C. The code is the same. Different colors, Flaming. Flaming, do you have how many different colors do you have, Flaming?
I have 2 blues, one one yellow, one green.
Two. Oh, okay, yeah. So the color with the highest number is your main one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yours is blue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are a C style.
Oh, C. Okay.
Interesting. Nobody D style over here.
Wow. I style.
Interesting. Quite quiet for our I style group.
Please try to submit so that we roughly know and take it as a fun thing.
Oh, but I didn't know we got so many I style here tonight.
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
Or maybe
But
most of
I
us
don't
are
know what's
borderline I lah, you know.
Okay, all the I style people, identify yourself now.
Me.
Okay, I'm just going to give us another about 10 seconds. Eugene, your I style, is it?
Yes.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
got 4 yellow, 1 red.
Oh, wow, okay.
Whoa,
Overdose,
you pass with
overdose.
flying colors.
Overdose.
No, not overdose, not overdose. It just means that the I style trait is very dominant. Okay, so I'm going to give us about another 5 more seconds and then I'm going to move on. So quite interesting. I style and S style are quite similar in numbers. I'm quite surprised it's 0 D style people. Okay, so don't worry, this slide this Menti will still be up there. You can go on to menti.com and enter in your DISC styles. Okay, so moving on very, very quickly, correct? I just want to quickly run through what DISC is, what is not, and I'm going to run through go into what DISC actually is, the specifics of it. So DISC number 1, it does not measure all of these things. Number 1, it does not measure your intelligence, not measure your education or your level of training. It does not measure the values that you have. It does not measure the skills and the experiences that you have. Okay, so understand that DISC, remember this now with the iceberg theory, is just behavioral. It's just behavioral. Okay, however, a very skilled practitioner or a very skilled coach can use DISC to identify people's values as well. Okay, so we can have this conversation after that if you're looking at using it in that way. But for the general purpose, we'll stick to more of the networking, the general kind of a usage stuff. Okay, so what DISC is? Okay, DISC number 1, it is an observable language, meaning I don't need to speak to you. Just by observing the way you behave, I can tell roughly what kind of DISC style you are. Okay, Next is a neutral language, no good, no bad, no right, no wrong. Okay. Next, universal language. This is interesting. Wherever you go on planet Earth, okay, I don't know, you go moon or elsewhere, you see alien or don't know, whatever, okay. If you see any other human being, you will be able to classify them into one of the 4 DISC traits or DISC styles. Despite culture, despite language, despite upbringing, okay, you can bring out or identify those traits. Next is a silent language expansion. There is, you don't necessarily need to talk to that person to be able to identify what style they are. So in short, DISC is something that we use, or it's a tool that we use to identify people's behaviors and people's emotions. Okay, so DISC, very, very quickly, so this is one of the key things that I want you to take away from this session. So this part important, okay, this part important. So how do we identify a DISC person? Okay, very, very simple. You ask yourself 2 questions, just 2 questions. Question number 1, okay, you ask yourself this: hey, is this person I'm interacting with an active person or a responsive person? That's the first thing you ask. Okay. Second thing you ask is this: hey, is this person more task orientated or is this person more people orientated? What are the how do they go about doing things? Okay, can. So just bear this in mind. How do we identify different people's DISC style? We ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, is this person an active person or a responsive person? Number 2, is this person task orientated or people orientated? Okay, so I'm going to go into more detail now. I'm going to run through very, very quickly because I want to make this practical for you. So if you want, you can quickly take pictures of it, and then I'm just going to breeze through this portion. Okay, so I'm going to be using famous people to help you to see the behavioral traits that are coming up, so that we all have a good mental image of the different styles. Okay, so very, very quickly, we know these people here. Okay, maybe just quick show of hands. Anybody watch Avengers? Anybody? Okay, no worries for those who don't. Don't worry. Okay, fictional or non-fictional, right? Correct. There are still different DISC traits that we can pick up. Remember, it's about behavior. Okay, so
Sean, you look like Putin.
wow, that one. Then you be careful, man. No, Putin got a reputation for iron fist. Okay, yeah. Okay, so how would you? So just very, very quickly, how would you describe these people? What are certain words you will use to describe these people? Okay, Bruce Lee, Putin, Jackie Chan. Okay, other examples of famous people are, if you talk about a very local context, okay, Lee Kuan Yew. Okay, another person who's very D style, correct, is okay, 2 people, Gordon Ramsay. Have you seen any? Confirm you have seen Gordon Ramsay videos before, correct? What are some words you will use to describe these people's behavior?
Very sure of themselves.
Confident, correct? Very confident, very, very bold, correct? What else? What else? Thank you, Shona, for that. I think that was a good and accurate observation.
They are very demanding.
Demanding, okay? Correct. You realize that, for example, when Gordon Ramsay, the standards are not met, he will shout at people and he will demand that perfection. He said, I don't care, you cry or whatever, don't care, just get the thing done. Correct? So certain words to use to describe a D-style person: dominant, driven, daring, determined, very, very directive and directed. Okay, these are some words that we use to describe a D-style person. So if I were to go more in depth, okay, general characteristics of a D-style person. So you realize, I want you to picture all the people that I mentioned just now. Okay, so if Gordon Ramsay works for you, picture Gordon Ramsay. Okay, if Simon Cowell works for you, picture Simon Cowell or whoever other celebrity that was mentioned. Okay, so you understand, or rather, I want you to deconstruct and see that these are some of the behaviors that they exhibit. So for example, you realize that these some people are correct. They're extremely directed and they're extremely decisive people. They don't do things like they just say, correct, or they just do, correct. No such thing as thing one. Sometimes they do within, like, what did I do or what did I say, correct. Next, they might be perceived to be or perceived to have a very high ego strength. correct? Because of the way they come off, because of the way they portray themselves, they can come off as sometimes arrogant. Okay? Next, they are bottom line task-oriented people and they're bottom line problem solvers. So you can identify a D-style person, right, in a conversation, right, correct? Just by seeing this. One person in a team, right, I'm sure you've all worked in teams before, one person in a team, right, will always say, guys, we need to solve the problem. We need to get this thing done. Don't care whether rain, shine, people cry, whatever it is, get the thing done. Correct? So those are some general characteristics. Some strengths that these style people have are these. Number one, they are bottom line organizers. They get things done. They get things done. They place an extremely high value on time. Okay? So understand that when you're dealing with a D-style person, time, they are very, very sensitive to time. Okay, next, they always challenge the status quo, and this links to this high ego strength. Sometimes, right, they come off as challenging the authority, but it's not. They don't mean it in that way, correct? They just want to ask, hey, is there a better way we can do things? But the way they ask it is very direct, lah. Okay. Last but not least, they're actually quite innovative people in the sense whereby, okay, another example again, you realize that Gordon Ramsay, when he gets angry, he starts scolding people and his language gets very colorful, correct? Not just the language get colorful, but the analogies he used very, very interesting one. He called people donut. He called people, I don't know why he liked to use the D word, donut donkey, correct? Go watch his videos, correct? So basically in a nutshell, that is the D-style people. Okay, so if I were to go back, okay, to this thing again, remember, okay, D-style person, you ask yourself, active or responsive? D-style person is an active person and a task-oriented person. Okay, so I want us to bear this image in mind. We're going to be using it to help us to identify what DISC style each person is. Okay, so there's a D style. Next, we're moving on very quickly to I style. I style are people like, okay, do you all know who this guy is? Prime Minister Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister. So you realize that he's very charismatic. The way he carries himself is very charming. Right? He's a very like, you don't mind listening to his speech, even though it's politics and you don't like politics, correct? You don't mind listening to him, correct? Another one. Do you know who this person is? Stephen Chow. Okay. Have you seen any of his movies before? Stephen Chow movies? Okay, most of us have. You realize that the style of movies that he does, right, is very, nonsensical to the point that it's a little bit fake, but you just have a good laugh at the end of the day, correct? Okay, so other people who are I style are people like think about Jim Carrey. All familiar with Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey. Okay, a more modern guy. This guy called Kevin Hart. You know who's Kevin Hart? Small black dude, not very. He's actually very short. He's like 1'6" something only. He's 165 or something like that. So to us as Asians, we're like, well, okay, not bad, quite good, but he's the anomaly lah. Okay. So basically, you realize that, okay, that these kind of people, right, what kind of behaviors or behavioral traits, right, you would or words that you will use to describe these kind of people that I've mentioned? Maybe we get you, Eugene, since you're I style. How would you describe this kind of people?
I think it's more like approachable.
Approachable?
Yeah,
very warm, very friendly, right?
Maybe like
light-hearted,
fun to be kind of thingy. I mean, I'm thinking of Stephen Chow. I would love to be around him. This guy is like so funny and animated, right? I mean, that's what I have, lah.
Yeah. Great observation. That's a great point as well. So you realize,
I see a small reflection in myself as well, like somewhat some similarities there as well. Like I really like to connect, right?
Can see that. That's why you're one of the main coordinators for this whole thing. Can really see that you want to be with people and people give you the energy, correct? So very, very interesting observation. And I think for those people who are this style also, I think it'd be quite interesting to hear. Before I move on, right? Okay, I want us to know, right, that in networking, right, correct, don't just pay attention to your own style. Okay, so don't shut off on every other style, then just listen to your style. No, okay. In order for networking to work, we must understand all the styles. Okay, I'll go to that a bit later. Very quickly, I style. general characteristics, extremely enthusiastic people, correct? They are generally more trusting, they're more optimistic, a little bit more warm, more friendly, talkative, persuasive kind of people. They use their words to, get you on board, like, hey, come on, hey, friend, right? Hey, come, let's go and, drink coffee, let's come and go and don't, I was going to say watch movie, but now cannot watch movie also, correct? And you realize that these people, they come up with extremely interesting and creative ideas, correct? Ideas that are out of the box, and like suddenly, like if an I-style person says something, right, you'll be like, where does this idea even come from, correct? Sometimes these people can be, they are more led by impulse and emotion. So they are very feely kind of people. I feel a certain way, and therefore I tend to follow the way I feel more. Okay. So then again, no right, no wrong, no good, no bad. It's just a different style, a different trait. Okay. Some of the strengths that they have is this. They are creative problem solvers, meaning when it comes to solving a problem, they like to throw in a lot of ideas. They're idea generators, basically. Okay. They are extremely extremely encouraging people. They like to, be the one who like, come guys, we can do it, let's do it together and stuff like that. They like to motivate each other. Last but not least is this, okay, important one, correct? They tend to negotiate, or they tend to steer away from conflict, or from very confronting kind of situations. They don't like that. Okay, so remember, I-style people, okay, if you look at the two questions again, up, down, okay, active, responsive, left, right, people, task. I-style people are active and they are people-oriented. Okay, so that's something for us to remember, and it's important. Okay, next style, S-style. Okay, these are certain people who are S-style. All familiar with Chow Chor Meng? Local actor, correct? Very, very humble. He played the guy called Mr. Kiasu. Familiar? Okay, so if you know who's Mr. Kiasu, right, that means that you're of a certain era. So I'm also of the era. Okay, I look young, but yeah. Okay, I also around that one. Okay, the younger generation, they have no idea who this person is anymore. Okay, now next, another person, Gandhi. Okay, or other people that can be that can be used to describe an S-style person. Mother Teresa. Okay, another one. Okay, not real life. It's not a real life example. Anybody watch Star Wars over here? Nobody. Oh, only Sean. Okay, steady, Sean. Okay, so all know this guy called Yoda, small green dude, the master. Correct. Okay. Question: what kind of behavioral traits do these people have in common? How would you describe this kind of people?
Yoda gave off a very stable aura,
Okay.
Reliable type aura.
Very stable, calm. The whole earth got earthquake also. Peace, correct? That kind of thing. Okay. Shauna, what do you think? S-style people.
Determined Gandhiji, yes. And peace-loving, as you said. Mother Teresa. So, and concerned, I mean, for the greater good of people. So something about, I'm not sure how.
Yeah, Shana, you are spot on. You are spot on to say that. Correct. As some people are generally people who are very giving. They are very self-sacrificial. Correct. They are people who are very calm, very collected, steady, stable kind of people. Okay. So certain words that can be used to describe them: steady, stable. Okay. Another word that we use to describe them is slow. Okay, but not slow meaning, hey, S-style 1 + 1 = what? Then they that is something else already. Okay. But slow means that they just like to take their time to make decisions. Okay? Okay? I see some people like laughing already. Oh, very bad. You all laugh at this kind of people. Okay? Okay, so general characteristics of S-style person is this. They're generally very good listeners. They're very good team players. They support very well. Okay? They don't like to be in the front line. They don't like to be in the limelight. They play very well as a support kind of a role. Okay? They're very steady, very predictable people, as mentioned just now. They're extremely loyal to a cause. If there's a cause that they believe in, they will die for that cause. Correct? And if the cause is you as a leader or as a friend, they will die for you, that kind. Okay? But once you break their trust, right, wow, super hard to gain it back. They will always have that, I cannot trust you in the area, that kind of thing. Okay? some strengths that they have are these. They're extremely reliable and dependable people, correct? As mentioned, self-sacrificial, loyal, correct? They are compliant towards authority, extremely compliant. They would tend to give in even though they disagree with it, rather than, you know, challenge the authority or voice their opinion. Okay. Next, they're extremely good listeners, patient and empathetic people. Last but not least, they are good at reconciling conflicts. Okay, they are conflict averse and confrontation averse as well. Okay, so in the whole scale, DISC, remember up, down again, up and down. S style, what up and down, active or responsive? Responsive, right? Okay, great. So how about left and right? People, or are they task oriented? Okay, and some people are people oriented. Very good. So, okay, I want us to understand. You're starting to get it already. You're starting to get it. The last one, C style. Okay, last one is C style. So C style people are these people. Okay, Bill Gates, Jay Chou. Okay, other people are like your Tiger Woods. This is another guy. Have you seen you know who's the CEO of Google? I forgot what's his name. The CEO of Google, the Indian guy, right? You know, recently he got roasted by the American court. Do you see that? Correct. And you realize that okay. So before I go into that, I want to hear from you. How would you use, or rather, what words would you use to describe these kind of people? C style. Bill Gates, Tiger Woods.
Again, hardworking.
Shona?
Yeah, Shona, go for it.
Hardworking.
Hardworking, okay, interesting.
I mean, they have a goal and they're very focused there.
Okay, they have a goal and focus. Okay, cool. Sean?
Oh, I wanted to say that I don't know, they share certain similar traits with the S type, right? Is it somehow that's the feeling I got?
Okay. Yeah, you're not wrong to say that. So same thing again. Whenever we come to DISC, right, we need to ask ourselves two questions. Remember, number one, is this person active or responsive? So C style, active or responsive? Responsive, correct? Responsive. People or task oriented? Task. Great. So understand that as what Shauna and Sean said, correct? Both have somewhat accurate observations. Number one, C style, S style, somewhat similar in the sense that they are responsive. They are more responsive people rather than active or more proactive people. But there are still differences as well. So what Shauna said is correct. They are a lot more analytical. They're a lot more task focused. Look at Bill Gates' interview versus a Kevin Hart interview. They can both be saying the same thing or talking about the same topic, but it comes out in a very different manner. You realize Kevin Hart makes it into a joke, correct? Comedian, very, very comedic. But Bill Gates, right, correct? You realize that whenever people ask him a question, he doesn't immediately respond, but he takes about 2-3 seconds to think about his response before he answers, correct? So certain words that can be used to describe a C-style people, very conscientious, correct? Very critical, very cautious kind of people, okay? So certain characteristics about C-style people is that, number one, they are extremely detailed and analytical in nature. Okay? They always think in steps, they always think in processes. Step 1, step 2, step 3, so on and so forth. Okay? They're very careful and cautious people as well. And because of that, they become very, very detailed and very, very meticulous. Okay? So just to give you an example, we've all encountered colleagues or bosses, right, who are extremely detailed. Meaning, right, you submit this thing to them, right, or you send this thing to them. Hey, what do you think? Then they'll say, paragraph 3, line 4, third word from the left, got no comma. Then you're like, wow, how you see one? Correct? Then I look at this thing like 3 times a day, I still cannot see. But the people, they can see because they're naturally a lot more analytical. So sometimes for some of us, we think, yeah, but same again is about understanding the different styles. Okay? Extremely precise, they hold extremely high standards also. Okay? So remember, similar to these style also, task-oriented people, but they take more of a reserved or a responsive approach. Strengths is this, they're extremely good at anchoring the whole conversation back into a real conversation. So certain things they like to do is that they like to basically talk about facts. They like to talk about details, correct? They're very, very thorough in everything that they do, correct? So things must be, okay, so think about it in this way. If I were to give you an example of how the different styles think, okay? So if you look at the DISC, right, correct? A D style person just thinks this way: get the job done. Just get it done. I don't care how you do it, just get it done. Finish it, done, simple. I style will say this. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. It's just I don't do it, can already. Okay, I style will say like that. Okay, S style people, correct? How they'll say things or how they'll behave is, come guys, let's do it together. You okay? You okay? You okay? Okay, can let's do it together. Come, we do together one. Okay. C style people, what will they say? They will say things like this: hey, how can this thing be done better? Or they will ask more details. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? Okay. So in a nutshell, that is what DISC is. An important recap again, two things. Number one, active or responsive. That is the first thing you ask yourself. Second thing is, is that person then a task or a task or a people person? Okay. So I'm going to run very, very quickly because I want to go into the networking portion and touch more on that. Okay. So I'm just going to give you some numbers, some stats. Okay. So these are global statistics, meaning all across the world. DISC has been around for a long, long time, about 80 years. Okay. And throughout this 80 years, right, this is the data has been collected and normalized over the whole world. Okay, basically. So you realize that D style 3%, I style 11%, S style 69%, C style 17%. Okay, so take a picture of this or bear this in mind first. I'm going to come back into this and give you very, very practical tips on how to network in a better way. Okay, so here comes the good part. Okay, 3 secrets to effective networking. Okay, and I've made it easy for us to remember. Okay, when you think about networking, think about 3 A's, 3 letter A's. Okay, first A, number 1, talks about being aware. We need to be aware that there are people with different styles. That's the first thing. Correct? If you always assume that, oh, you know what, everybody's the same, or you know what, everybody just this guy a bit weird, or this guy a bit hard to talk to. Not true lah. It's just that they do things in a very different style, in a very different fashion. So that's something that we need to understand. Being aware that there's different styles. Second A, appreciate. Understand that each style has their own unique differences, and it is a good thing. It is a good thing. Think about it, in a networking session, right? If everybody thought like you, there's actually no point in networking, because then you don't have different perspectives, you don't have different, ideas, you don't see things in a different manner. But that's the beauty of networking, correct? So appreciate other people's styles and acknowledge that, hey, you know what, different styles have different strengths as well. Last but not least, important. It's about adapting. Okay, how do we form? So someone asked at the start, correct? Or a lot of you asked, how do I form impactful, impressions on people? How you do that is by adapting to their style. We adapt to their style. Okay, so if I can give you some principles, correct? If I give you some principles, we've all heard of this rule, correct? This rule is called the golden rule. The golden rule states, do to others what you want others to do to you, correct? But DISC goes one step further. If you notice that there's actually a cat here, okay? Same but different, okay? So the key point here is this. In DISC, the adapting portion talks about not treating other people in the way I want to be treated, but we need to treat people in the way that they want to be treated. For example, let's say Eugene is the I style, correct? The first thing that I do when I meet him, I shouldn't talk about, hey, Eugene, what are your credentials? Correct? The first thing that I should say is, hey, Eugene, how are you doing, man? Wow, have you had a dinner or not? Wow, what do you have for dinner? Hey, wow, your background very nice. Hey, wow, that shirt, floral one, is it? Interesting shirt. Correct? And something we all know in networking is this. The first 10 seconds are extremely important. Extremely important. The person either subconsciously shuts you off or you open them up to listen to you a lot more. Correct? So the key point here is this, okay? I want us to, and I'm using images because it helps you to see better lah, okay? So I want us to understand, okay? We all need to become behavioral chameleons. We all need to become behavioral chameleons. What do I mean by that? Okay, same thing again. We treat people in the style that they want to be treated in. We treat people in the style that they want to be treated in. Okay? So, adapting your style to treat the other person in the way that they want to be treated, that's how you make a very good impression on that person. Okay? So, now I'm going to jump back to this portion and I'm going to talk about strategies that you can use, correct, when networking or when you're preparing for a networking session. So remember just now I shared with you some stats, some numbers, correct? So, quick question, very obvious, but which style is the highest percentage? S style, right? S style is the highest percentage, right?
The S style.
Yeah, that is correct. So you realize, I think someone wrote something very interesting. Wow, you know, our Asian culture, all very shy, all very introvert. No, actually it's all across the board. Okay, but culturally, right, correct, it's weird for us to talk to other people. But in other countries like you know, if you've been to US or like Australia, right, they're a lot more friendly. You know, they're a lot less awkward. It's a cultural thing, but behaviorally, you still can see that people struggle with certain things. Okay, so why am I sharing with you these numbers? Okay, I'm sharing with you these numbers because from a networking standpoint, right, correct. Number one, it's not easy for us to identify the person's style immediately, correct? So with this data that we know, one suggestion is this: can we always adopt and assume that the person is S style first? Because 2 out of 3 people are S style. 2 out of 3. We have 20 people here, correct? There's about 15, 16 of us, correct? And I want us to understand that that is something that honestly I've been using a lot. Okay, I always treat people as an S style first, but in my interaction with that person, then I'll slowly start to understand. Oh, okay, is this person more task? Is this person more people oriented? Is this person more active, or is this person more responsive? Okay, am I making sense so far? Okay. So one of the key strategies is understand that, you know what, we can just treat them all as S style people first. So S style people, correct? How can we network with them? Or what makes a good impression, correct? S style people, make them feel comfortable. Don't throw them on the spot and ask them a lot of questions first, correct? Wow. So for example, anyone here S style? Shauna, okay? Okay, I want us to see something, okay? I'm going to use that as an example, Shauna. So this is a level 7.5, okay? Not so serious, but do you realize just now when I call Shauna for a response, do you realize what her response was? Or what her reaction was? Yeah, very slow, okay. Yeah, I'm the only S style. Or even before that, when I was asking her for opinion on the C style, remember? She got shocked. Wow, I need to answer. Correct? So understand that S style people, right, correct? They need an environment that is warm, that is very gradual. It needs to have build up. It cannot be suddenly, Shauna, what do you think is DIC? Oh, and then she's like, wow, I don't want to prepare. You suddenly throw me under the bus, crazy, you know. Correct? So one very, very good technique is don't bomb them with so many things first. Correct? Think about it. You know, we all have an elevator pitch. You know, the first 30 seconds, the pitch to a person. Correct? Design it in an S-style format, meaning talk about more of a relational aspect rather than, I'm here to, do business with you. That's the last thing. Look at it. S-style people 69%, 70%. 70% of people are relational first. Or if you go in with a business conversation or a very, hey, what can you do for me, right? Wow, of course people get scared off and then they're like, I don't really want to talk to you. Correct? So that's number one. Understand that this S-style people, 70%, we can be safe to assume that people are mostly S-style. We can treat them in a way first. Okay? But then we very quickly need to switch and we need to ask, hey, is this person active, responsive? Is this person task or people? And then we switch accordingly. Okay? So this portion of the session, I really want it to be practical for us. I want us to try it out and role play. Okay, Ken? Quick one. Anybody wants to volunteer? Try for the first style. How do you deal with an S-style person? How do you think you should deal with an S-style person or network with an S-style person? Okay, so think about it. S-style person, active, responsive. More responsive, right?
Maybe I'll try.
Yes, go for it, Eugene.
Is it that we should approach it more towards them rather than more towards us? Because sometimes when we network, we tend to talk a lot about us first, right? So I think if you're saying that, assuming that everybody is a S-style, or at least what I think is right is when we go, I think we should use the approach more towards them. Reason why I say that is when we show like we really show like genuine interest in like what they do, in the professional work that they do. We, in my opinion, I think we create like a safety net, like we like a warm environment, like a bird's nest, right? And they feel that it's comfortable, that they are in the warm nest, and perhaps they might, react and network better. I mean, this is my own opinion.
Yep, Eugene, you're along the right lines. I think the key words that you have mentioned is very, very important. Number one, it needs to be gradual. Number two, it needs to be very genuine and authentic. Meaning, right, if this person is an S-style, remember 70%, 70% of people are S-style. If this person smell that you got an ulterior motive, right, they will talk to you, but they won't follow up with you. Correct?
Yes.
So, correct. So the two key things about S-style is it must be gradual. Ask them questions, yeah, can. But don't ask them like, hey, how many kids you have? Wow, you suddenly ask a personal question. Of course, I won't say lah. You know what I mean? But ask like, oh, you know what? Hey, which industry are you from? Very neutral questions first. Get them talking about themselves. And then really hear them out. Really be genuine to want to understand these people. Then these people will slowly open up. So, Eugene, very, very good. Spot on. Okay. Next one. Okay. Okay, Eugene. Now you got the chance to empower another person to try.
I'd like to try ask Fleming to try.
Okay, Fleming. Okay, Fleming, I give you a choice. Which style would you want to try?
It's in approach.
Yes. So you don't necessarily have to approach a style that is similar to yours. So for example, Eugene was I style, but he did for S style. Correct? You want to try an I style? I think that'd be very interesting.
Sure.
That's me.
Yeah, maybe I'll try a nice style for Eugene. Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, okay. So first thing you ask yourself is, when it comes to DISC.
Well, whether the person is a responsive or active or responsive. So Eugene is an active person and he is a people's person as well.
Great.
So active and so I guess like most conversation, you have to start with the niceties. Ask about Eugene, and that's how barriers are being lowered. Take an vested interest in the other person to get to know the person more, because people like to talk about themselves, and people like people who find out more about what they do. Yeah, so basically I'll take the time to get to know more about Eugene and going for the angle, and yeah, so that's how I approach. And vice versa, I'm sure Eugene, being a people's person, will also take a little interest in me and start asking me some stuff. So that's how the tennis match started.
Yeah, great. I think, Fleming, you mentioned something that's very, very good, whereby, people love talking about themselves. Correct. The less words you use, the better, actually. For all the styles. Ask them questions, get them talking about themselves. However, what they talk about is very, very different. For example, S-style person, get them to talk about why they're here. The reason. Do you know anyone here? Stuff like that. I-style people talk about recognition. Hey, have I seen you somewhere before? Or you know what, if you've heard of this person, hey, wow, hey, you know what, Eugene, I heard that you're amazing digital marketer. You know how to brand people properly. Wow, I've seen your campaigns, and I think it's very nice. Okay, pause here. Eugene, right? When you hear people say that about you, right? How do you feel?
Generally, I feel more connected to the person. I think one tip I learned and read is, for example, somebody shared with me, like when we are supposed to go for a meeting and meet for a client the first time, it is best that like kind of we research the company background a little bit more, that then so that when we meet the client, we can actually give this kind of background. I think when we do that, like your example, people definitely feel more connected. At least you are more interested in what they do. See whether you can find out like their LinkedIn profile and things like that. You say, oh, understand that you are, you formerly work at like for my case, understand that you are formerly working at Standard Chartered. You're doing some digital marketing for them. That's quite interesting, So if people connect to me that way, I know that they have actually done their research.
Yeah.
So definitely feel connected. Definitely.
Great point. So one extra tip I can give you about I-style person, very easily, right? If you identify this person as an I-style, talk about the way they dress. Hey Eugene, I really like that pair of specs. I think it suits you very well. Wow, immediately he like, wow, I know, right? I made a good choice, Then come, talk to me more, correct?
I wore this for many years.
Oh yeah. Okay. So these are some tips that we can use to engage people better. Okay. So since we're on it, okay, I-style to a C-style. How do we then talk to a C-style person? Okay, because of time, I'm just gonna give you more examples. So C-style people, same thing again, gonna talk about themselves, but you might want to start off by so C-style people, remember, they need facts, they need details, they need information. So how you connect with a C-style person is that you ask them to talk about themselves. So for example, okay, so Flaming, let's role play a bit, right? Flaming, hi, nice to meet you. Maybe share more about yourself. What do you do? What industry you're in? I'm curious to find out.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I have started my business last year in shipbroking.
Interesting.
I also have a side business as well.
Okay, interesting. I'm also the organization that I'm working in. We are also SMEs, we are also startups, and I understand there are some struggles, but there's some points that are like very, very fulfilling as well. Yeah. And you know what? I've been in this industry for about 7 years already. Correct. So for a C-style person, you need to assure them that you are of credential, that you're of credibility. That's the main thing on how you connect with a C-style person. Once a C-style person thinks that you are nonsense on, right? Correct. They'll shut off on. Right now, Flaming. Correct. Once this person you feel that this person doesn't know what you're talking about, right? Then immediately at the back of your mind is like, okay, I might want to change the conversation or move somewhere else, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So understand that this is how they function. No same thing yet, no right, no wrong. Okay. We come to the interesting one, D-style person. D-style. How do you interact with a D-style person? Okay. Example, D-style, remember, very task objective, very time sensitive, get the thing done. So think about it. Why are they there to network? Is it really to make connections? Then what? I see Sean laughing already. Come. So what? So why do you network?
Probably they have something in their mind.
Correct. Spot on. They already have an agenda. That's why they're there. Correct. So come to them and say, hey, D-style, I heard your business can do this. You want partner or not? Wow, immediately they're steady on. Come. What can you give me? What can you offer to me? Correct. Immediately, snap. Don't need to long story. Hey, D-style, tell me more about yourself. Don't care. Just get it done. I'm here to look for. Let's say I own my business, right? I'm here to look for a marketer. Hey, D-style, I do marketing, social media marketing. You on? Come, we go and link copy, go and talk, go and eat food. Come, go. They're very, very quick one. Okay, so understand that these are people, right? They are very agenda driven. Not that it's right or not that it's wrong. Also, again, it's a style, but they have a very focused agenda when they're there. So don't talk to them about, wow, this one very nice, that one very nice. I just talk to them straight to the point. Hey, you're here to network, right? I'm also here to network. We are here to make business deals. Come, let's go. Let's talk about it. Correct? That first 10 seconds, right? It makes the D-style person feel that, wow, okay, steady, I like this person already. Very no nonsense, get to the task, finish it. Correct? Yeah. So I think in summary, I want to bring this out in networking. You see, in networking, I think we have been taught a lot of very general tools. For example, your elevator pitch, get people talking about themselves. Those are very good things, very good baselines. But how you can set yourself apart, how you can up yourself one level better, right, is by treating that person or engaging that person in the style that they prefer. Then they will realize that, hey, this guy, I connect with this person. Correct? Next time, they're more likely to connect with you. It's easier to connect, and they leave, or rather you leave an impression in their mind whereby, hey, this person understands me. Correct? So if you forget everything throughout this whole session, right, one main thing I want you to take away is this. One main thing is this. Okay? People want to be understood. Everyone wants to be understood. Regardless of the style, they want to be understood. As individuals, can we then take that step to understand people first rather than seeking to be understood? I think that is one of the key principles in networking. A lot of times, we come in networking, definitely we must have an objective, we must have an agenda. But when we come forth as having our own agenda, correct, we come off in our own style, correct, that's when people feel a bit uncomfortable. I don't really connect with you, I don't really like you. But when we come into the conversation in the style that they prefer, that's when we really can strike and impact with them, or make an impression in them, and then the conversation can go a lot further. Okay, Ken. So, quick one. Any questions so far? Any main questions? Yes, Eugene. Go for it.
Actually, I got two questions, but
yes.
I think maybe I'll start with the two questions first. Because everybody's so shy, I must warm up the group.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So my first question is, does D-style generally come into a networking session and think that they are the brightest light bulb there? You know what I mean, right?
Yes, I understand what you mean. Okay, so think about it with me. D-style people, are they active or responsive?
They are active, right?
Okay, great. Active. Are they task people or are they people?
I think they're more tasks, right? Yeah, they're more
Correct. You're right to say that. So think about it in this way. Does Gordon Ramsay want attention or does he want things to get done?
I think it's more things to get done. Yeah.
You're spot on to say that. So understand that when we deal with D-style people, it's not that they like to be the light bulb. Usually, very standard case, right? When you go to a networking session, right, a D-style person will fold their arms. You look at the whole networking session, right? You see the person with the most black face, right? High chance is D-style one. You know why? Wow, don't waste my time. When you gonna start? Faster, I want to get my deal, then go already. That kind of thing, correct? So these are small behavioral traits that we can see to see these kind of people, pick them out. Okay, this is a good question.
Okay, so I'm moving on to my second question.
Yes.
Of course, now circuit breaker and all that is not that applicable, but in a physical networking session, especially you are given time to network, and let's say I connect with this person, right? And this person is really truly passionate about what he or she does, and assuming that she's in the field of microbiology, developing plasma technology and all that. There's nothing wrong with that technology. It's just that this person is so passionate that, let's say, she's been talking to me for the last 15 minutes and hogging the conversation about how she does and all that. I think my problem is how to get out of this situation without showing that I'm not interested in her. In what she's talking, and really get on to know as many people as possible, because there are people just like that. They are really passionate. Nothing wrong, but it's just that, you know, given the time context for networking, right? You just need to try to get to know as many people as possible, right?
Yeah,
what would your advice be?
So if I understand your question correctly, it's basically exit strategies, or how can we get them to talk about the topic lah. Don't talk about yourself, you know. Come on, let me say also lah, correct? That kind of thing.
No, it's more like you've been talking to me for 15 minutes, right? Without sounding very crude. Hey, dude, I need to move on to other people to get to know other people.
Okay, so number one, as you mentioned, in a virtual networking is very different compared to physical networking. So let's start with physical networking first. A technique that I use quite a lot is called, oh sorry, I need to go toilet. You go toilet, then just disappear. Then just don't go back and find the other person. So like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody will say, no, you cannot go toilet, I need to talk finish to you. Nobody will say that, correct? Like, you know, you talk, if you feel that it's getting too much, you just say, oh, so sorry, do you mind if I just use the washroom for a short while? Yeah, then you go ahead. Then go, walk in the area and stumble across other people lah. You know? Yeah, it's okay one. Okay.
That's a perfect strategy, because I've been stuck in such situations for
so I mean, nobody would say, no, Eugene, no, you cannot, you stay here and I talk finish. Nobody would say that. You know what I mean? If the person said that, right, please quickly just walk away and don't deal with that person anymore. Okay? It's wrong. Okay?
But then the next thing we're afraid of is whether the person will follow you to the toilet or not. Okay, I'm going there too.
That one, I'm sorry, I cannot help you already. But yeah, that one. So try to excuse yourself with a valid reason. And then
actually, good point. You know, some people talk. You say you go toilet, especially if you're the same gender, right? You just say, oh, I also need to go.
Okay, very good. So for ladies should not have a problem.
Yeah.
For guys, right, correct, you go already, right? Don't go to the urinal, okay? I'm just gonna say as is that. Just go to the cubicle. Then just stay inside for a while. Yeah, okay, very, very, very real question. Online, you can use the same techniques. Oh, hey, sorry. My wife's calling me. My wife calling me. Sorry. I'm still here. I understand or not?
I thought your wife really calling me.
No lah. No, yeah. So easy. It's very natural. Nobody will say, oh, no, you stay here. Talk. Oh, go. You know, go already. Then just be around. I'm actually still here. I'm observing. Then usually these kind of people, right, they'll start talking to other people also. Good. They talk to other people. They occupied. I can go and talk to other people also. Correct? So good question. Very, very real. Very, very real one. Maybe the last thing I give you is this. How then, if you're in a conversation, but that person is not talking about a topic, how can you swing the thing back into talking about a topic? I think that's something that is crucial. So for example, sometimes people, they have things that we want, or we realize that we can have partnerships in certain areas, but this person is just not talking about a topic, correct? So think about it in this way. The different styles, which style is most likely to veer off topic? Which style? I style. Okay, Wilson, right? Very good. Correct. I style. So I style, right? Correct. You need to realize, right? Correct. It's not that they are not focused on not objective or task people. They cannot be task people. It's just that sometimes, right, they need a bit of reminder. So for example, talk to I style. Wow, yeah, I agree that this thing is very nice. Hey, is it okay if you talk about the business deal now? So question now, I ask them a question, but am I actually asking a question? No, I'm not. I'm actually telling that person, right, hey, come, let's talk about business. But the way I say is, oh yeah, hey, I think that's great. You know, shall we talk about business right now? Shall we talk about this? You realize that it's a very subtle thing, correct? But it gives you that edge to say that, you know what, hey, come, let's focus back on the task game. Without saying, hey, you talk nonsense, you wasted my 10 minutes. Oh, you know, very, very different now. So that is one of the strategies. to imply. Okay. Good question. So sorry, who's K-Chu? Yeah, K-Chu, you requested for the D slide. Here is. If you have any questions, do just let me know also. Okay, I think those are good questions coming so far. Any other questions from the ground? Any other questions from the floor?
Hey, Zenas, actually I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Okay, I think because right now we are it's 8:50 already. I think there's something else you would like to show us, right? Before we continue on with Q&A further.
Okay. So
Yep.
yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for that reminder, Sean. Yeah. So basically, one of the reasons why I'm here to share with you what DIC is, I mean, if I can really be honest with you all, correct? At the end of the day, we're here to network, we're here to leverage on each other's strengths, we're here to leverage on each other's resources as well, correct? And something that I want to offer to all of us here is this. Number one, this short session is really just a teaser. It's really the tip of the iceberg in DIC, correct? And as mentioned just now, a very skilled person can use DIC to go very deep in terms of coaching as well, correct? So for example, I have ever used DIC to talk about trauma. So a person's trauma, right, correct? Develop them into a certain style. And by identifying that DIC style, I've actually worked with the client backwards to be able to identify what is the source of that trauma, correct? And so I know some of you are coaches over here, so that is also one of the applications. So same thing again. Basically, in this point in time, I think we all know that COVID is quite a hard situation, correct? We're all getting hit quite hard, and I think as the government said that you know what, it is a really good time to upskill ourselves. It's a really good time to refine our skills and learn, relearn, unlearn, and learn again, correct? And so something that we are coming up with and we're offering is a certification program for the DISC. Okay, so this is how it looks like. It's basically what we call the Aligned DIC Certified Practitioner, meaning when you come for the program, you'll be certified and you'll be able to use these profiling tools, correct, and the techniques and the methods that are taught to really value add to that person. Okay, so it need not be just in the area of coaching, but for example, if you're in the area of HR, correct, we have worked with companies, for example, E2I. E2I is a government board. We worked with their C-suite people before, and basically their managers and their higher ups lah. And we have basically let them know that, you know what, DIC is a tool that you can use to manage your team better. For example, another area is HR. We have partnered with certain organizations to let them know that, you know what, DIC can be used during your HR, your recruitment process. Correct? How do you find suitable people? Because we all know, correct? If you recruit the wrong people, spend money. If we cannot recruit the right people, also lose money. So both ways is losing money, but how can we optimize and how can we make that process better? So DIC really helps in that manner. And the next upcoming certification is on the 27th to the 28th of August. Okay, the price is an online 2-day workshop. Okay, and the price is at 1080. Okay, 1080. However, because of this whole thing, we have basically decided to really cut the thing quite a lot. And if you were to go and sign up, correct, and use the promo code SG United, correct, then you'll be able to really get the funding at $500. So it's literally at 50%. Okay, it's at 50%. Next thing is this: if you are Singaporean and if you are NTUC member and you have not used your UTAP funding, UTAP funding is a funding that the government has made available to all Singaporeans who are NTUC members. That is, I think it's 20% up to $250 off. So meaning, right, correct, our workshop or our course, our certification qualifies under the UTAP funding. Meaning, if you attend the course, you can apply for that funding and get a reimbursement of $250. So meaning, at the end of the day, you spend $250 for a certification that will stay with you for life. Okay, and take for me, honest, I paid $1,800 for my certification. I paid $1,800. But honestly, DIC is a skill set that keeps on giving back. Why does it keep on giving back? because at the end of the day, we all deal with people. Even if you don't use it in a professional sense, you use it at home, use it with your friends. It's basically a very powerful tool to understand people better and connect with them better. Okay, so if you are really interested, correct, and you action, these type of people, I want to sign up. Okay, yeah, please, the QR code is here. Scan it. Remember to put in the promo code. If you don't put in promo code, then okay, then I try to help you. But yeah, remember to put in the promo code. And last but not least is basically this okay. If you want to find out more about this whole thing, or if you just want to talk about DISC or really optimize your networking or relationship management in general, okay, do feel free to connect with me as well. So these are my links up here. Okay, so you can scan the QR code, head on to LinkedIn, connect with me. Even if you don't want to find out about DISC, you want to connect with me, please, I'll be more than happy to connect with you. Let's have conversations as well. And then if you want to drop me an email, just feel free to drop me an email. So I think for some of us, we might not or certification might not be something that we're looking at, correct? So if you want, correct, this is something that I do offer as well, where it's a one-on-one coaching session. However, it's only limited to 3 slots right now. Yeah. So if you want, quickly just let me know, and then we'll work things out, and then we'll move on from there. Okay. So that's all I have from. Oh yes, last thing is this. So sorry. Do follow us on our Facebook page so that you are up to date with all the current promotions and stuff like that is going on, and the not just the promotions but also the information that is being put out there. It's good stuff. Yeah. So do connect with us, and we look forward to connecting with you as well. Okay. Yep, that's all.
Okay, wow. Thank you very much, Zenas, okay, for sharing with us all the valuable information that you had today for us. Okay, in regards to DISC and how to read into other people's mind. So right now we know what style more or less. During networking, we'll start off with an S style first. Yeah. Then after which, right, when we ask more questions, we start to discover their characters and personality. Then from there, now we have some tips also in how to hijack their mind. Okay, so thank you very much, Zenas, okay, for sharing with us all the valuable information for tonight. Okay, so I understand that at this point in time, because it's 9 p.m. already, so there are some members, whom have some other work to catch up with. But nevertheless, right now what we will be doing, right, is a Q&A. Okay, so those who wishes to have something on later first, okay, you may leave. Okay, but if not, right, actually on hand, some members have texted me some questions they would like to ask you.
Okay, yeah, great.
Okay, for example, the first one is, Zenas, yeah, thank you for sharing with me about on DISC, the differences and how to approach, when we met someone who is of a D, I, or S or C. Okay, but how about being an introvert or extrovert? Is it the same thing?
Okay. So it's a very good question. It's a very common question. Number one, are there differences between introverts, extroverts? Is there such a thing? Number two, is there such a thing as ambivert? Meaning some people are both introverted and extroverted. All of what you hear is true, but I would like to clarify. This thing about introverted and extroverted, right? Correct. It is very much a choice. Why do I say so? Remember at the start I shared with this thing about the iceberg theory, correct? The behavior is just a 10%. A lot of times that behavior comes from a deeper source. It comes from a set of values that they have, or it comes from a set of beliefs that they have. So for example, I've worked with youths. Generally, these are more in youths. They tend to take more of a backseat approach. I rather let people say things, I don't say first, very cautious approach. And oftentimes they're just seen as very quiet and not heard at all. Something that we work with them, we found out that it's because in their upbringing, they've been shot down a lot. Correct? They've been told that, wrong answer. Correct? And stuff like that. So we have worked with students to help them to be able to process their emotion better. And therefore, correct, to answer the question, right, is this introverted or extroverted is irregardless. We can train ourselves to be either. So active and responsive, D, I, and C, right? We can train ourselves to be all D, I, S, and C. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? So by training, right? Okay, so it's part of the adaptation process whereby I can train myself to become an extrovert. For example, take this whole session for example. Do you think I'm more active or a responsive person? Everyone here. What do you think?
Who thinks Zenas is active? Raise out your hand right now.
Who thinks I'm active? Okay, interesting.
Okay.
I think you're all for, because you are supposed to be the guru, right? You can change.
Okay, right. Okay,
chameleon.
Correct. So sometimes a lot of people, when I run these kind of sessions and I ask this question, a lot of people say, but Zenas, you seem like all four leh. And that is actually proof that you can be all four. You can exhibit all four traits. But you know what is if everything is normal, if I'm not working, if I'm with friends and it's not like I'm supposed to be giving a presentation, I'm actually an S style. Yeah, Eugene and Sean would see it. You realize just now, before the whole thing started, I was very quiet. Yeah, because I need to warm up. So what I'm doing, right, is I'm psyching myself up. Okay, Zenas, you need to be like this during the training, For example, if I come on and talk like an S-style person, right? Oh, hi guys, today we're going to be talking about this. I mean, in general, people get bored quite fast, lah. Correct. So it's about really understanding your own style and then adapting it to the styles that is more necessary at that point in time. Am I making sense? Yeah. So summary of the answer is that introvert, extrovert, ambivert does not matter. It can be trained, and there's different scenarios for different traits to be exhibited. Yeah.
Okay, Ken. Okay, so right now, before I move on to the next question, right, from some of the members or so, at this point in time, we are opening up the session for Q&A. If you guys have any question or okay, you may anytime just stop me, raise your hand, okay, and just ask the question. All right, I can always give the rights over to you. All right, so that's number one.
Sorry if I might add, any question, it doesn't necessarily have to be about networking. It can really be about anything. Can be about anything.
In regards to DIC, right? I believe it's also a tool that not just can be used on networking, right? I think it can be used on many other areas too.
Correct. So let's talk about sales, for example. Correct. Let's talk about sales. So a lot of times we find it hard to close sales deal, or if you think about it, a sales conversation is essentially starting with a networking conversation. Correct. That person is more likely to buy from you or more likely to partner with you if you make a good impression, or if you talk to them in the style that they prefer. Correct. The key word here is this: people want to be connected. People want to be connected. When they feel that, hey, this person understands me, we'll win them over already. Correct? So, give you a very real example. I have met clients who are extremely high in their C style, super detailed, super analytical. For example, usually in this kind of trainings, right, we all know that trainings, we have a certain plan, we have a certain schedule. But it's not die fix or die, the thing that I put in here, I must say, that kind of thing. But some clients are like, Zenas, this time 6:35, how come you never say this? But you write here that you're supposed to say. Then we need to explain to them, and we need to help them understand that, you know what? Because our training is dynamic and stuff like that. Yeah, so you see Eugene like, I cannot take these kind of people. Okay. That is what happens when we don't know the client well. When we know the client well, we preempt them. For example, I know my client is C-style, I'll tell them, hey, C-style person, we understand that, this whole thing, details are very important to you. However, we also need to bear in mind that, trainings is very dynamic. If I were to just deliver a set of contents, then actually, honestly, you don't need me lah. Correct? I'm here to give you more value. C-style person immediately, okay, this guy legit, he might not follow the exact thing, but he's still gonna, add value to the whole session and stuff like that. Okay, I feel more reassured. Does that make sense? Yeah. So okay, let's talk about insurance, correct? Insurance sales, correct? How do you sell insurance to a D-style person? Hey, you just go to them and, hey, D-style, you want to buy or not? You don't want to buy, okay, don't buy. You want to buy, then buy. I offer you. I mean, just sign very fast. I do all the paperwork for you. Why not? Then they will just immediately like, oh, okay. I mean, D-style usually people quite straightforward. The problem ones are S-style people, correct? S-style people. Why? You explain, you sit down, drink coffee with them, explain everything.
Need to think about it. I need to think about it.
You know what's S-style's favorite word? Oh, maybe. Correct? Maybe. Let me think about it. Okay. Then that's when people get stuck. Correct? Then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, think about it. But then as a sales conversation, right, it is a wasted opportunity because, right, S-style people, they need time to make decisions. It's not that they don't want it. So you at the end of it, the advice that I give people is that when you're doing sales with an S-style person, sure, give them time to think. But say, hey, in the meantime, can we schedule a next call? Can we schedule or can I have your email? I'd like to send you more information. Then you give them that space to breathe, and then you schedule a next call, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, I'm ready for that call again. Does that make sense? Another thing about S-style people, don't talk about the insurance benefiting them. Talk about how it benefit their family. You win them over. This insurance that I'm selling you, it doesn't just cover you. It covers your family as well. Let's say you get injured. Let's say something happened to you, touch wood, correct? At least the financial portion is secure or is settled, correct? We don't have to worry so much about finances, and we can just worry about recovering and, ensuring that everybody is okay. As an S-style person, I feel, I think it's a worthwhile investment. Correct? C-style, how do you talk to them in a sales conversation? Know your facts. For example, if you're under company A, bring a list that has the same product, compare with company A, B, and C. Tell them why you should choose company A. If you're working with company A, they love it. Correct? You got detail, they see all the facts. Okay, this one the most 划算, the most of value, I'll choose that. You want me over. I-style? Hey, bro, hey, sis, you got, I don't know if y'all call sis lah, okay, but usually bro, hey, dude, right now we're having a promotion. Hey, this promotion ending soon. You want to take or not? A lot of people take already. We only got like 3-4 slots left. I-style people feel, a lot of people take. Okay, must be good. So I also take. Correct? Does it make sense?
Eugene, is this true?
True, but we will end up talking half a day.
Yes. You see, but it starts off that conversation it allows me to continue on the conversation with you a lot deeper. Correct? Rather than, hey Eugene, you want to buy this or not? Company A versus company B, our company the best. Immediately you hear it and then like, not very exciting. Correct? Yeah. So these are some things that we can do to angle it differently. Essentially, you're talking about the same thing. You're talking about selling insurance, right? Sell the same product. Actually, the product is the same. Just how you pitch it to them in a different way. Even marketing, you think about it, right? It's about pitching to the different styles. How do I pitch to a D style? Functional. This thing will improve your quality. This thing will improve your efficiency. Use words efficiency. They feel very sure. I style. This is the most up to date, the most flashy, the most beautiful, elegant, sleek design. I style people will be like, okay, appeals to me. S style. You buy this product, correct? If 4 other people in your home got this product, got offer, number 1. Number 2, you connect with them in our, seamless database or whatever it is. C style people, my product gives you this option, gives you these functions. The other product gives you one thing less. Buy mine. So the idea, right, basically, as long as you deal with people, it's very beneficial. It really is. Yeah.
Okay. So right now I'd like to open the Q&A to the floor. Are there any questions from anyone at all?
Yes. Any questions? This is when you can make your
Fleming, Wilson, Fazli.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions?
This one free coaching session. You better ask the question because he charges for quite a lot.
Okay.
if you're a bit shy, don't worry. You can always type it into the group chat, and then I will respond to it there lah. That'd be good
Shy,
as well.
you type in the group chat. I help you read lah.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so while you guys are thinking about the questions, that could be related to the work, or how that you guys are facing certain clients or certain colleagues, or even your boss, of a certain style, and you wish to know how to tackle them. Okay, you can always put it in the group chat.
Not tackle them,
not tackle them. Manage. I guess I just exposed myself. I'm the only D there. I just do not
tackle his boss.
Yeah, you want to manage them.
Yep.
Okay, you can always put it in the group chat also. So while I'm giving everyone time to think about it, okay, I have another question.
Yes,
another
go
question
for it.
also. Okay, Zenas, sometimes we have the misconception that as a networker, right, we had to be outgoing, we had to be super engaging. Like, if you were to put it in summarize, right, we had to be an I.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Interesting. I want to ask the rest, what do you all think? That's a good question. What do you think? Is it true that in a networking session, I should be more charismatic, I should be a lot more outspoken, a lot more, use more body language and stuff like that? Should I do that? What do you think? Fleming says no. The rest? Wilson, Shauna,
Fazli? Yeah, what do you think, Fazli?
I'm not too sure.
No worries, it's okay. That's what we're having this session for.
Never been.
I think Wilson unmute himself. I think you want to say something, is it?
Yes, Wilson, go for it.
I think like what Zenas shared with us, in the networking session, probably maybe the strategy will be, instead of portraying ourselves as certain type, the focus will probably be sizing up which type the people that you want to approach, which type they belong to, and then match their style. So it's more versatile. You can actually connect with different styles instead of just being your eye, right? Or whatever. Yeah. That is my perspective to it.
Interesting. Very good point, Wilson. Do you realize that I actually did that at the start? I collected a DISC at the start.
Yeah, exactly.
I essentially asked you, how you want to be treated. Correct? But you realize that in the individual, so as a whole, when I was giving that presentation just now, it was very much I style. But now when it comes to more small group, when a specific person asks a question, you realize that the style changes. It's no longer so high energy, but it's a lot more, hey, you know what? Is this person is a C style? How can I give them more detail? Correct. If this person is an S style, how can I help this person to feel more comfortable in asking or even understanding that question better? Yeah. So Wilson, that's a good point. To that question, I think two things. Number one, you really need to ask yourself, ask yourself the question of expectation. Meaning, where do you get this expectation that networkers must be enthusiastic, must be very high energy? Through videos, through people sharing that, wow, yeah, I met this guy quite interesting one. Correct. You realize that as mentioned, the things that happen to us, our experiences shape the way we believe things, and therefore it shapes the way we behave as well. So number one would be expectation. What is the expectation of a networker? What's the image that we have? We all have this kind of very standard role model kind of image. That's the first question. Second question that I'll ask is, what is the context? What is your role there? For example, my role here is networker / presenter / trainer. Correct. My main role is presenter trainer. If I were to go into an S style, which is my style, well, y'all confirm sleep really. Correct. But so understand the situation, the context. It calls for different styles as well. For example, why did I do with you at the start I asked you to, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you? Question, which style do you think that is more for?
The S?
S style.
S style?
You're actually preparing S style people, right, for this kind of conversations already. So at the start, it's like, oh, okay, I know that this is the baseline. And then if you want to go higher, okay, he'll let me know. Correct. So all these are techniques that come with experience and stuff. But at the end of the day, 2 points. Number one, expectation. And number two would be the context or the situation. What role are you playing in that point in time? That determines what style you should exhibit as well.
Okay, so that means, are you saying that, sorry, Wilson, you want to ask something?
You can go first. I have a question. I have a question.
Okay, Ken. Okay, so Zenas, do you mean that even though if like I'm a D, I'm a S, or I'm a C, the main frame or the main strategy that I should adopt is still to put others first before self? Is that what you mean?
Of course. So as the principal said at the end, as mentioned, always seek first to understand people, meaning treat people in the way they want to be treated. Instead of I treat people in the way that I want to be treated. For example, if let's say I'm a D style, I can be squeezing an S style and making them feel very uncomfortable. If I want to be treated this way, give me direct answers, give me straight. Yeah, don't need to think so much, I don't need to be around the bush. But if I do that to an S style person, the S style person will go back into the shell even more. Correct? So the main point is really treating people in the way that they want to be treated.
Okay.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
So, okay, now we are speaking in terms of the context of you are attending a networking event. What if you are the host of the networking event, right? Like just YMG, right? So how do you actually manage the audience? Because we can assume that majority is S.
Yeah.
But there are also other groups, or maybe we need to tweak a bit when they are more of I or more of C, more of D.
Wilson read my mind.
How do we actually
actually you read my mind.
Facilitate the session?
Okay. You want my honest answer?
Yeah.
There's no one answer for it. Okay, but with that being said,
how do we be more adaptable to it?
Okay, so if I were to break down your question into 2 parts, I think they're better. So number one, you're asking based on the demographics. So you're saying, hey, if I'm a host, does that then change the way I interact with people in general? Correct. Number two, then on because the position then changes from a networker or from a presenter into more of this kind of conversation. Therefore, the role changes as well. So for example, if the role as a host, definitely, correct, the go-to is be a little bit more I style. Reason, okay, this is training technique really lah, okay? When we go up on stage, people mirror the energy or the enthusiasm that we have. Therefore, for example, if I want my class to be at a level 6 of enthusiasm, I need to be at about a level 7 or level 8. Does that make sense? Online, is even one higher. Makes sense. So that is the first part whereby that's how you deal with the demographic. But then you might be asking, but it doesn't relate to the S style. S style 70%. S style, they are only affected if you call them up. Correct? That is their only concern. I be here, I want to learn. Just don't call me. I hear quiet, I take down my notes, can already. Don't call me. Correct? The I style, right? They actually like fun, correct? You understand they're people at the end of the day. You ask them questions like, hey, what do you eat? It gives examples of like very, very relatable stuff, right? Wow, they connect with you. Just don't call them. But if you want to call them, you give them scaffolding. You give them a gradient for them to slowly climb up. So for example, things like, now online is a good thing. Oh, you can type it into the group chat instead. So for example, let's say Shauna is an S-style, right? She's shy. Type in the group chat, no worries. I read out the question. Oh, so thank you for your question, Shauna. Your question is this. So then I'll address one part, but then after that, I will get Shauna to talk. You see, then it's a lot easier for her because like, oh yeah, you answered my question half part already. Correct. I'm just providing more details or I'm providing more context so that you can answer it even better. Make sense? So the reason why I say there's no one right technique, right, is because this comes with experience. This is a skill thing really. Correct. So if I were to say, okay, do this one thing, right, it's very hard. But a general rule of thumb, definitely try and be a little bit more energetic, try and be a bit more enthusiastic in hosting the whole session. I don't know if you came in very early when Sean and Eugene were hosting the networking session. You realize that the position I took was a lot more passive. It's a lot more supportive. Correct. Same thing. The switch was so quick. Correct. The switch was quick, but then again, knowing when to do what helps. So, for example, if I were to be super high eye and then start facilitating the whole conversation, right? Then the question is like, am I overstepping the host? Correct. This is their time. Let them do it, lah. Correct. Number two, how then can I come in to make my presence known to everyone without needing to speak to everyone? You know what I did, laugh along with the thing. Wow, interesting. Wow, okay, cool to hear. Thank you for sharing. Small things like that. Your presence is made known. Am I making sense? Yeah. So, Wilson, you asked a very hard question, but that's the best answer I can give you, lah. Yeah.
Thank you, Zenas. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. So I guess right now it's 9:25. I guess I will open this room. Okay, until 9:45. For everyone, if you have any further questions and if you would like to chit chat, basically let Zenas know. Let us know also.
Yes.
That what's the one lesson that you have picked up from today, and what have you learned? So that we can improve ourselves better, and also at the same time, to let Zenas know that what has been effectively put across, for all the audiences.
Yeah. So I always,
it's party time, man.
It's party. I always tell this to whatever group that I'm engaging is this lah. I think communication goes, or rather learning goes in a two-way kind of a format. I share this with my participants as well. Sometimes I actually learn from them during a session. Like I'm there to deliver something to them. I'm there to be of value to them. But sometimes they are of value because of their perceptions, perspectives, their expertise that they bring. So as a trainer or a public speaker, I think if some of you want to do that, I think something important for us to bear in mind is if I put it very bluntly, I'm not better than you. I just know a little bit more about this than you. Correct? I mean, but you also know things that I don't know. So how can we learn together? How can we learn from each other? Great. So I think that really creates the environment that, hey, we are here to learn from each other. It's a safe environment to experiment. It's a safe environment to learn and, in a sense, make mistakes lah. Yeah. So do ask questions because, as Eugene said, you have me until 45. If not after that, you need to pay me already. Okay, yeah, but
need to show the rate again.
Show the rates.
Okay, maybe we start with Eugene first. Maybe you can share with us what have you picked up. What's the one key thing useful thing that you picked up from this session? Then we'll go around Robin. Yeah. So right now I'm prepping the S styles also.
Yeah. So actually, I really learned a lot. I never really looked in depth of how we can actually sort of really make the networking session really to our advantage by knowing all this DISC, right? So this is really a lot of knowledge, wealth of knowledge. I mean, guys, come on, the corporate people pay us like thousands of dollars, and we are just getting this like really free. That's why I'm asking you guys to ask questions, right? But for me, one of the important take home is I get to understand what I am. I mean, I roughly know what I am, but through that simple picking of keywords, I never expected that could be quite accurate, in terms of profiling and all that. And through that, I also learned more or less like a formal way how you actually interact with all the other people, because sometimes we don't. I mean, prior to this session, right, I thought that networking to everybody is just normal, because I'm like the enthusiastic, I'm like the approachable. So I thought I would just use the same approach to everybody. I didn't realize that having known that majority is S, that means we actually need to warm the person up, or we assume that the person is a S star, and we really warm the person up, make the person feel in a comfort environment and talk. So I think this is really something that I really learned a lot, and I really thank Zenas for. And definitely, Zenas, I'll be talking to you because I'm actually designing a whole personal branding and leads generation mentoring session for insurance trade. So I'll definitely talk to you more separately on that. Thank you, Zenas.
Sure, we'll be glad to have that conversation with you.
Yeah, I think Eugene, maybe you can even be a practitioner to take out the certification. Yeah, but the promotion was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, it was crazy in a good way, lah. I'll put it that way. Yeah. A little bit about history between Zenas and I, right? Because I know Zenas for a few years really. Yeah. Then
4 or 5 years already.
Yeah, and back then, right? There's no such thing as Zoom. Yeah, no such thing as Zoom. Yeah. And if you want to take something like DISC, what was the rate back then? I think it was more than 1,000 plus, right?
I paid 1,000.
Easily 3 to 4K, right?
Yep. Certification is about high 2K to about 3K. 4. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So when Zenas first shared with me, right, right now I think it's further reduced because of the funding from UTAP, right? Yeah, with UTAP. But then it's become 250. Oh my goodness.
You know what I told my boss when he shared this is I tell him
too cheap.
I think dude, too cheap lah. I tell him, basket, why you never give me this so many years ago? Why now that you have this kind of thing? I think so much, But I think really it sounds very cliche, right? But really, right, the deal is insane. The quality of the training, right? If you think if you hear from me, right, and you think that wow, okay, Zenas know all things, right? Wow, you haven't meet my Sufu yet. Yeah, go and learn from that guy. Yeah, really the next level one. So yeah, I mean, seize the opportunity. Yeah, it is a really, really good one, and it stays with you for life, and it's international. Yeah.
Yeah, it is awesome. It is awesome actually. Okay, so right now, if I was right, maybe I'll open the session to other members also. Like probably, let's see, Wilson, would you like to share with us, like what is one key takeaway, from this session?
Yeah, I think there's something that I have been thinking is because you mentioned this DISC is the 10% of the iceberg, right? Yeah, and basically what you shared is how you can actually know it's about your behavior and action, so that you can read people very fast, and then connect with people in the fastest time possible. However, right, this 10% is actually driven by the 90%, the value, the belief. It's not when you say, like for example, S, you want to sell to S, you mention their loved ones, for example, and you want to target, for example, other group. Then so these are more into if you want to influence this group of people, you have to go to understand their value already. So some of them they share, even what you mentioned just now, right? Some of their how would they behave, right? The value to the team, right? Actually, that is already some of their motivations behind.
That's correct.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how deep DISC can go if you learn because if you are talking just about the action and so there are the few levels. The first level practitioner will probably just look at the person behavior and then match to the theory. So so you are the I, you are the C or whatever. And then but if you want to even be better, right? I think it's important to know what is driving this group of people. And of course there are some nuances. I mean not all these are the same, not all I or S are the same, right? But so I wonder whether how specific can this tool help, to go deeper and what would be your experience, based on experience, what would be your thoughts on that?
Okay, let me give you a very quick overview of let me try and pull it up. This is basically okay, so maybe if I just explain first, a practitioner level, right, is not just about reading people, but it's about using the tools that are available as well. And the tools that are available are really, really deep. It goes really, really quite in depth in terms of, for example, I can tell, for example, from just by reading that person's graphs, correct? Basically, when we have that graph, we would see 3 different graphs, okay? And each graph means different things. One of the graphs basically mean that, so for example, if you're in this setting, correct, how would you behave? How would you respond? If you're in a different setting, how would you respond? So if I can show you, okay, let me see. Okay, let me check, because there might be some people's names here, so I don't want to show that first. Okay, so if I very quickly, let me share screen with you.
Yeah, Zenas, you can show other people's name, but probably not mine.
No, I don't have yours. Okay, so for example, right, DISC goes very in depth because it talks about 2 different aspects. So 3 graphs. Graph 1, public persona. Graph 2, private persona. Graph 3, perceived persona. Public persona basically means that in this context that you've done it in, correct, what hat do you think you need to wear? So for example, in a work context, what do you think people expect you to behave like? Second graph, in a work context, if you're stressed, this is how you behave, exactly how you behave. Last one, third graph, talks about perceived persona. Is basically, think about it as looking in a mirror. You think that you are, or this is how you perceive yourself. Okay, some things that can be seen. So for example, if you look at this person's graph, right, great, you realize that, hey, I didn't know this person was new to the job, but in coaching this person through, found out that this person was new because of the points in the graph. So how the lines move, how the different things shift, it tells me different pieces of information as well. Yeah, and as mentioned, it can be okay, if I put it to you in a very objective manner, at the end of the day, DISC is a tool. If I use Chinese, right, 是死的，不是活的。人 like okay, sorry, so any tool, correct, any tool is dead. For example, I can give you the best pen on earth, right? But if you don't know how to write properly, you'll be wasted. Correct. So just like any other tool, DISC is a tool that can be used to really expound very, very deep. So one of the cases that without sharing too much, same thing again, just by looking at this person's graphs, I could tell that, hey, you know what, this person was having some issues at work. And after digging, right, correct, basically found out that this person had traumatic experiences in the previous workplace. And this person was carrying those experiences to the next one. And it was affecting that person's work. So using this, right, how then do we coach that person through and help them to understand that, hey, you know what, there are some things that we can take control of and correct. Yeah. So it goes all the way down to the level of even a belief system. So for example, S-style people, they usually, what happens is that S-style people usually struggle with this thing about a sense of, fitting in. They feel the need to, I need to be everything to everyone because I don't want to offend anyone. Some other things that they experience is, for example, they feel that they should always give in to other people. Correct. Another one, C-style people. C-style, they confuse perfection with excellence. They feel that, hey, you know what, if this thing is not done well, then I'm lousy. But not true. You know what I mean? Like our work and who we are is different, is separated. But because of how we see things, correct, is different. So basically, at the end of the day, I think Wilson, what you're asking is more of a coaching question. How deep can this thing go as a coaching tool? It can go very deep. Really, very, very deep. Yeah, I mean, if you want, we can explore trying a coaching session, and you can see how it's like lah. Yeah, if that's something that you're interested in finding out more.
Yeah, I think not just maybe not I think for us we are doing this for networking, but I think many people are also looking to use such tool to understand more about themselves.
Yep.
And to like what you what you do is also your just now your life purpose, right? It's also to help people with their potential, right? So I think this is a very effective tool if you really can go down to their very deepest belief and values, and then unleash the hidden potential, the strength. That's where you remove the Johari window, right? From the potential part to the known part.
Yeah, correct. So you're trying to expand that portion. And I think since you're on that, I think this question is very common, and people always ask, hey, Zenas, then have you heard of StrengthsFinder? Have you heard of MBTI? Have you heard of Enneagram? Yeah, Enneagram, you know, Big Five.
Yes.
My very honest opinion and answer is this. Number one, DISC is the simplest. There's only 4 aspects. Take for example, now the in thing is StrengthsFinder and MBTI. StrengthsFinder, you have 38. 38, right? Your top 5, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If that order is different, right, it means different things. How are you going to assess that person without getting them to do a report? Very hard. Very hard. Another one, MBTI. MBTI, you have 16 different permutations, correct? INFJ, ENTP, or so on and so forth, whatever. In terms of application, it's a lot harder to apply. DISC is ease of application. However, it can be used to go really, really in-depth as well. Some other things about DISC is that, I don't know if you all have heard lah. You're seen online, so you know, this kind of profiling tool that has like, are you a red, green, yellow, blue personality? Are you earth, fire, wind, water? What kind of personality are you? Are you got bird, got like eagle, dove, peacock, and what kind of, that kind of thing. All those are actually spin-offs of DISC. If you realize at the end of the day. Yeah. So DISC has been around for 80 years. So now I'm talking more detail. The 2 biggest fighting ones now, the longest and the most researched ones are DISC and Big 5. Big 5, short summary, basically it's been around for about 100 years. DISC has been around for about 80 years. Amount of research that has been poured in is quite a lot over the 80 and 100 years for both. The main differing point is cost. For example, a report for DISC costs you about $50. A report for Big 5 costs you about $350. Correct. And it's in percentages as well. So again, different tools can be used differently. But as far as from my experience, DISC is useful for both ends. As a coach and as a person who's being coached, it's easy to understand because there's only four main traits and aspects. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question, Wilson. I think that's a very, very, very valid point.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing from your perspective as a subject matter expert.
Yeah, no worries, my pleasure.
Yeah. I think we can explore more on that.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Hit me up.
Okay. Then how about other members? Like for example, Fleming. Fleming, would you like to go next? To share with us, probably what is for some key takeaways or what are the key ideas that you had learned from this tonight's session?
All right. Well, thank you very much, Zenas, for this interesting presentation. Learn lots. The main key takeaway for me is the introduction of this principle that you brought towards the end. Do to others what they like you to do to them. This statement itself, not too sure where it came from. It opens, it shifts your mind's paradigm to think about a whole lot of possibilities which one can explore. And I like the fact that you have also touched on the applicability, the application of DISC pertaining to the trigger words that one should use when you talk to the dominant personality, the I, the S, and the C. So that was quite interesting, and these two are the main takeaways for me. Thank you very much for it.
Great to hear that. Yeah, I think the very common thing that people say at the end of DIC is, oh wow, you know, we always say this at the end. DIC explains you, but it doesn't excuse you. For example, we have had kids use, right? They say, but teacher, I'm S-star, what? You need to give me time, you know. And I'm like, nonsense. No, you think the whole work out to you, you know, that kind of thing. So DIC gives you an explanation of why you behave in a certain way. It doesn't give us the excuse to say that, oh, because I'm like that, then okay, lor. For example, because I'm an I-star, I cannot do detailed stuff. Nonsense lah. No such thing, right? Correct. But I think where this thing comes in from is really about, hey, how can we, if you talk about a more of a leadership position, more of a managerial position, how can we optimize, or how can we help to help our members or our employees to become better versions of themselves? Remember the 3 A's that were shared? Aware, appreciate, adapt. The first step is always aware. And oftentimes in that awareness, right, you can change a lot of things really. For example, I know that I struggle with, for example, let's say I'm an S-star, right? I struggle with sudden changes. And I know that. So what do I do? It sounds very weird, but I talk to myself a lot. I'll tell myself, okay, Zenas, this thing happened. I know, scared or whatever it is, finish the thing first, then go and deal with the emotion later. Correct. So yeah, I think that's one of the key things that we try and bring across at the end of the day. As you mentioned very, very rightly, is about seeking first to understand and treating people in a way that they want to be treated. I think that's the key. That's one of the keys in the INC. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Okay. Then for next, may we have Fazli? Yeah, Fazli. Actually, I'm very curious. You know, over in Malaysia, do they have such concept as DISC? You know, or profiling tools over at your end?
This is the first time I ever heard about that.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Okay.
Thank you so much. That's the big takeaway from this networking.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And I think this one also can apply as well to our my current teamwork also. I mean, in my production. That means mostly before this I never done sale or networking, but in terms of working, we are production team, right? We need to communicate is the key important the work here. So we need to direct the crew and direct the client at the same time. So I think first is we understand their behavior based on their characteristic, then it's easy to start from there. Yeah. And yeah, thanks for that. It's very useful. I cannot wait to start using that for my future networking or speaking.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, true.
If I can add something to that, firstly, would be this. I think as people are in charge of other people, I think something that we got to ask ourselves is, how do I create an environment that they will thrive in? Let me clarify. It doesn't mean that, oh, S-style, right, I always give them heads up. It doesn't mean that. Because if I always do that for them, then it's spoon feeding. You know what I mean? But how can I, knowing that, how can I walk this person through a journey of self-development, self-optimization? At the same time, this is a very business kind of a thing whereby I think oftentimes in businesses, we realize that, you know, if we drive for results too much, okay, then people become very sian, or the morale goes down. But when people are taken care of, and people feel that, hey, you know what, I have a role to play here, and I'm playing in my strengths, correct? That's when people flourish. And then you don't need to micromanage them. If they love what they do, right, you just tell them, hey, update me. Then they will come and gladly update you one. The point that you know, okay, I need to look into this person, right, is when you need to chase them for stuff. Then you're like, okay, something's not right, correct? But what is not right? So using DISC can be a tool to identify what's not right, so that we can really help to help them grow as an individual, and how do I say, in doing so, create the whole organization can flourish as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but firstly, for most of the time, do you face like does you and your team face challenges, in communication, like between the top and the bottom, or even each other?
Yeah, of course. When Zenas explained about the dominant people, the style people, then I can imagine my team also. Sometimes there's the colleague that very dominant, like to push our idea, everything. But understand them, we understand them enough, then we kind of get the idea lah. We can tolerate a bit lah. Yeah. Sometimes we boss everything. It's just business lah.
That sounds like a term that I used to use for person with high D.
So yeah, Sean, I experienced that a lot in terms of work and handling the client for this.
Yeah, sure. I think Zenas also can help you and your company in some way, to help you guys, especially leaders, to analyze, to see how they can incorporate DISC into the company. Because I think Zenas just raised up one thing, okay, as a leader, right, is how to develop, our members, to empower them. Yeah, which gives me an enlightenment, like a reminder. Yeah, also is that our role here is not just to go through a process. It's just not to get things done, but also at the same time, is to empower them. To make them, if can, through the process, make them an even better person, than they first step into the office the first day. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah, correct. I think it's everyone in the company in every level understand about this. I think the work environment can be better.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, then lastly, may we have Shona? Shona, would you like to share with us what is some key takeaway to have out of the session?
Yes.
Shona,
thank you. First of all, yes, I'm very warmed up actually. I must say, first of all, Sean, thank you very much for having me here. And I'm very glad that I'm here today. And it was one of your questions, Zenas, at the beginning. What did you think you were going to hear when you came here? So nothing what I thought I was going to hear, and what I got is something very exceptional. It's your knowledge of this area, and probably the topic itself. I don't know what it is, but I haven't listened to such an interesting session in a long time. Very engaging, and probably also the group is small. Everybody has been talking, and everybody knows this style so well that I probably whatever. I'm just saying that, adding that bit in. But I'm even interested to know what you're doing actually, but that can be another session, I guess, to know how you are using what you know, because it looks like a subject that's can have such an impact on people, because I can see that it even goes to employment or children, or can go into so many areas, what you know, the knowledge that you have. Again, I never knew there were 4 different. Probably I heard once this dominant style. I think that's one thing I remember from long time, but not these 4 different styles. And how you said we can put people at ease, and being aware, accepting and adapting. Again, so many interesting concepts that you put in here that I really enjoyed myself. Yes. And I think you are also a person, probably confidence. I don't know what the word is for you, because you seem to be able to change from one personality to another, and even the language that you use, you are able to change it suddenly to a very casual usage of words sometimes. You become a different person for 3 seconds, and then you are able to change your personality. And really, I found it all and a good group here who's come together to see Sean and Wilson and Eugene and Fleming. I think first of all, I don't know, it was a wonderful group, And firstly, I'm meeting you for the first time. Nice to see you too. Yes, just had a really wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words, Shauna. Yeah, I think maybe if I were to give one more nugget for you from an S style perspective, one way we can adapt a lot better is by giving ourselves time. So, for example, something I realized is that, for example, I know that Sean and I we've been talking about this for about how long? 1 month.
1.5. 1.5.
Yeah, about 1.5 months.
Yeah,
or
about
the concept of me coming up here 1.5 months. And if I can be very frank and honest with you, I was sharing with him that, wow, I'm a bit nervous.
Yes.
Then Sean as a D will always say that, no, don't worry, just do it.
Yeah, you just do it. Then, okay, like, because on my level, like how I manage myself is sometimes I say this kind of thing just because I need to get it off my chest. Yeah, but from that time, what I'm actually doing is that I'm actually mentally preparing myself that, you know what, Zenas, you got to be extrovert during this period of time. Yeah, so having time, giving yourself time to switch to that mode helps a lot. And to answer your question, what do I do? In summary, one key thing I believe in is changing culture. And how we change culture? We change culture by influencing people, by empowering them, equipping them, and enabling them. So in the gist, that's what I do. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Very well done. Yes.
I have a suggestion for the next topic that will be given and delivered by you.
By me?
Yeah. So it will be something like discovering my preteen children.
Discovering your preteen children.
Using DISC
to
target parents to manage their preteen children. I'll definitely be the first one to sign up.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's an awesome idea. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I mean, it's practical.
Okay. Is it possible, Zenas?
All things can be done, my friend. All things can be done.
Let's do it in like 3 months' time. Rerun.
Wow, awesome.
No, but I think it's a very relevant topic, and I think it will definitely resonate well, even for people who do not have child of their own or something. They have grandchildren and things like that. So it's very practical across the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
As long as you interact with people. Yeah. Yeah.
Think about it, okay? We will get you rerun in maybe October, maybe December.
Ken, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Eugene, what is the age group you are looking at?
I don't know. Once they reach the TWEEN, that's where.
Okay, I think we can do that.
Yeah.
Then we give a long promotion period. We make sure we have like 200 people in the room.
Prep 2 months. We're preparing
Zenas
2 months ahead.
Promotion. No, serious. Because I think such a good talk. I think more people should join and benefit.
Yeah. Actually, at this point in time, right? I'm so glad to see everyone is here. I'd like to throw a general question to everyone also. I believe some of you guys, have been attending this session for quite a while, right? Like, for example, Wilson, Shona, Eugene, Fleming. I would like to open the question to the floor. What are some other topics, that you guys would like to hear, or you felt that, you'll be interesting and beneficial for you guys, for the next few upcoming session? Anything? It's okay. You can just throw in anything that from your perspective.
Something on sales, maybe.
Sales,
Yeah, I think.
Don't worry. Whatever we suggest won't be delivered by you.
No, I know. I also don't have the answers to everything.
Okay, sales. What about sales?
Like,
I don't know. I think
strategy.
a lot of people struggle, I mean, I'm not talking about like online perspective, like really, things like from end to end. If you have a sales call, what do? You research and all this kind of thing, and then you go down what you say, how you prepare, all that. I mean, it'll be good if like a subject matter expert, right? Like somebody in sales, right? To really take us through. I think a lot of us are sort of business owners, right? I think that would be something. Like for me, you guys have heard about the online marketing aspect, or how we do lead generation, how we make sure that we get traffic to your website and things like that. But I'm talking about more on the physical sales one. I think maybe that would be a good topic. I don't know. I leave it to others. I mean, let's throw some topics so that Sean won't be jammed, because every time he will be thinking which speaker. You must have the topic, then you know which speaker to engage. So
Yeah,
cannot expect him to think of the topic only lah. So let's think. I mean, firstly, what kind of topic would you think would be good? I mean, generally, like you run business.
I don't know, like marketing lah, HR lah, leadership lah.
Firstly?
Yeah, any?
Firstly, I don't have any idea yet lah.
Wilson?
Yeah, but Wilson, you are trying to you wanted to say something earlier, right?
I think currently, my sense based on what I see, is that many people are interested in branding, personal branding. Like what Eugene doing, marketing, online marketing especially. And I think yes, it's important to because sales is about principle, right? Whether it's offline, online, the principle are similar. But then because moving forward, it's going to be more on virtual webinar and sales, right? So also more people also try to understand how are they going to pivot and move to online. How do they sell? But selling again, right? Like what Zena's doing is selling also, right? So how do you present yourself in front of webinar? Because doing live, when speaking to live audience and speaking to virtual audience, there's still a difference. Yeah. So probably how can we be more effective in terms of doing that?
So what I'm saying is execution of sales lah. Sales conversation, sales execution,
correct.
Understand.
Okay, techniques, psychology of sales.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. How do you actually get people to come to this webinar? Yeah. And listen to you, and also how do you actually during this webinar, how do you add value and then get people to sign up for your course? How do you actually use what you already know to turn into info products? How do you sell your knowledge? How do you monetize your knowledge? I think that's something that we can add value to the community.
If you guys are open to like a half a day course kind of thing, I will be able to develop something along that line. Yeah. But it's gonna be like a sort of like a half a day course kind of thing over the weekend. If you guys are really open, now I'll work with Sean, right? And we will definitely have something like that, like what you say. I mean, it's practical lah. So right now in COVID and all that, people are double hatting and all that kind of thing. So what can you do? I mean, that's a valid point, right? Like you've got some domain knowledge, like, or some interest that you're really strong in. So how can you package all that to sell? And what can you do? What are the platforms you do? I mean, I could share some pointers definitely, but I will need time to develop it. On the angle of personal branding, I'm actually doing a whole 1 year personal branding and leads generation program for an agency owner. Yeah, so I'm doing that as part of a tie-up, a synergy with them. So I will be developing that. It's not exclusive. I will deliver the content to them. But anyway, if you guys are interested, I could also deliver the content. I think one of the things that Sean and me spoke about is also rather than to have this regular monthly, are we able to do snippets of on top of the monthly, things like, you know, digital marketing, practical knowledge that you can implement. So I'm really keen. In fact, I'm thinking of doing like weekly webinars, right? To really help people in this area. I mean, there's no monetary and anything. I'm still trying to sell people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah. So that's my only sales thing. Yeah. Of course, through all this, I do get clients to get on the digital marketing contract with me, right? Through my knowledge. Similarly, like what Zenas have presented, have made me want to work with him to jointly develop this master plan that I'm doing with the agency. So that one we will have a separate conversation definitely with us.
Actually, I feel that is fair lah. That is fair lah, because we can always give snippets of like a workshop or something like that, you know, to let them to have a hands-on experience. Yeah, because sometimes we also have to acknowledge, you know, not everything can be done in a day.
Yep.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge that lah. Yeah, then
so
you know,
I'm giving like maybe weekly free webinars, but also I'm intending to, for those that really want to go like deep dive, like a 2-day session, then of course that will be paid webinars. Yeah, but I really, you know, take them, walk them through. Yeah.
Or throwing something out. It can even be a series. So for example, if the topic is too big for one session, it can be come back for 3 parts, kind of a thing.
Yes, actually I'm actually trying to design my whole weekly webinar such that every week actually relates, and you know, everything will be on YouTube and you can watch if you miss it, like you can catch live, you can have FAQ and all that. So that is in the works, for at least for the digital marketing aspect. Yeah, so what I can do is I can actually make this available for YMG to register.
Okay, I think that's possible. Yeah, or even in fact, I think that's what we should lah. That's what we should do. Yep. Okay, so I guess right now is 10 o'clock already. Yeah, I think some of us need to go for work tomorrow early in the morning and all lah. Yeah, if all is well, may we take a photo or something like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eugene,
Please
is
do.
it possible?
Yeah, I'm actually quite bad.
Okay. Okay, don't worry. Maybe I'll screenshot from my side.
Okay. I think you screenshot better.
The cap The cap come on. Serious mode already.
Wow, he's ready. You know, he's ready. Actually, he's waiting for this. Okay. If all is well, okay. 3. Get ready your pose. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay. One more. Maybe one more. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Can. All right.
Thank you very much.
Nice one. Yep. Really nice session.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you, Eugene. Thanks, Zenas, for a great session tonight.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
I'll end the recording and I'll make this available to everyone as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yep.